Alright guys, so the audio for the whole undercard got ruined unfortunately, so I just uploaded it without the audio. This is going to be the first part of the video that has any audio, or I might just leave this for the first part of a new episode, or the episode could just continue and this fight could be a part of that episode. But either way, there's going to be a section of this video that just has no noise because the audio for that part was just unrecoverable. But I went back in and finagled with the audio and now it should sound better. Uh, so here it is. Here it is. The main event of the history of the entire universe and the entire history of mankind. Andy Flick the Switch Fitch versus Tony the Real Deal Seals. And this is going to be absolutely no fun. And by that, I mean it's going to be very, very fun. It's going to be no fun for either man in the ring. They're going to take damage. They're going to get beat up. This should be an absolute battle. And we're going to break this thing down right now. Both of these guys can turn out the lights. Both these guys can knock you out. Don't be fooled by Tony Seals' 11 punch power. He is a very, very real power threat. And Andy Flick the Switch Fitch is called that for a very real reason. He can flick the switch at any moment and turn your lights right out. No questions asked. But Tony Seals is by far the better pressure fighter, the more aggressive fighter, the fighter with the better stamina and the better hands. And that goes a long way. But Fitch is renowned for his ring IQ and has more championship experience. It is worth noting that in the script of the middleweight division, Tony Seals is more seen of as a title level challenger at this point, being higher ranked. This is a little bit of a step down and a risk for him fighting a two-time title challenger in Andy Fitch at this point in his career, when there are plenty of other options out there for him to fight and boost his title status in the middleweight division. Both of these men have fought for the middleweight title. Andy twice, Tony once. They've lost all their opportunities. Actually, never mind. I keep saying that Tony Seals has fought for a belt. If you're a loyal fan, you are yelling at me right now because Tony Seals has never fought for a belt. It's a little ridiculous that he hasn't. So it's more so that he's taking this fight to just sort of say how many of the top middleweight contenders and middleweight title challengers do I have to fight before you understand that I'm legit? And I think a lot of people would look at this Tony Seals fight and say he is taking a step down to fight Andy Fitch when he doesn't have to. And that Andy Fitch actually stands a lot more to gain in this fight than Tony Seals. But it would be a very impressive win for Tony Seals. And there is no title shot for Tony Seals coming yet. I think that's because they're scared of him. You guys can think whatever you want to think. But maybe a win over Flick the Switch would send Tony Seals up to over 1 million fans, be our first fighter with over 1 million fans. But I'm going to stop putting it off, and we're going to fire up this fight and see who wins. The long-held debate. Could this be a one-sided beatdown for the real deal, or will it be the start of a beautiful rivalry between Tony Seals and Andy Fitch? It's been a long time coming. The main event of the evening. Round one. No intros, baby. This isn't a championship fight. This is just a regular good old scrap, and it's the first power punch from Andy Flick of the Switch Fitch. Out of the gates, but Seals answers back. Fitch still doing the better work. There's a power punch from Seals. A big combo from Seals. We've got about a minute left. 2 solid punches from Seals. A big one through his defense, though, from Fitch. A nice 1-2. Pretty heavy damage on Seals already. That's a good first round from Andy Fitch. That's impressive. This is a 12-rounder. And this is for the North American Regional Middleweight title. It's for Andy Fitch's North American Regional Middleweight title. I completely skipped over that. That is another big reason why Tony Seals is taking this fight, so that he can get that belt. He's already very respected in the middleweight division, and there's why. There's that hand talent. There's a knockdown. Big round for Fitch and for Seals, and Fitch didn't see that one coming. He gets back up and gets bombed on again. He needs to start landing something as Fitch finally standing up to Seals in this round. He can even up the punch count all he wants to. That doesn't mean he won the round. Seals with a big knockdown. This may still be an even fight, but Fitch the more damaged fighter. Oh, not anymore. Good work to start the round from Andy. Seals landing back. This is a pretty explosive fight so far, just like I predicted. I haven't done any strategizing. These guys are kind of going at each other. They're both damaged. Seals with a big cut over his right eye. Fitch is cut too, but the cut isn't as bad. They're both over 60% damage here only in the third round. Seals the fighter with more energy. Seals puts Fitch up against the ropes and bangs some big shots on him. He's very damaged, Fitch. Seals still working. He's got 30 seconds to do more. A big shot to the head. Successive shots. Another cut opens up for Fitch. Another big blow on Fitch from Seals. Seals continuing to work, and he ends round 3 with a big flurry, and that was a big, impressive round from Tony Seals. Go to the body has been a disaster for us on this card. You didn't watch a couple of the previous fights. We had a couple of losses. I forget which fighters. Cotrill was one of them, where we put them on go to the body, and they went to the body and got absolutely hammered for it. So I'm going to kind of do that with Seals here because he does have a reason to go to the body to get that big energy advantage. And Fitch is on the edge. It could get him a finish, actually, going to the body right now. But it could also open him up at 69%. So there's a realistic possibility that Andy Fitch can find a shot here and end Tony Seals' night if he goes to the body. So I just want to be entertained. So far, it's a good move for Fitch. And there's big damage. Sorry, for Seals. And it's a big damage on Fitch. Still up at 77%. Still the less energized fighter. But he's taking shots from Seals, obviously. He's starting to work back. But Seals has been able to go to the body. And I'd imagine that Fitch is going to be worse for wear. He's already worse for wear. He's finally throwing back. Putting some damage on Seals. He's trying to get back in this round. A couple combos. He is back in the round. There is damage on Seals. Now Seals is on the back foot. He needs to answer back and he doesn't. That's a Fitch round. And he goes to the body and it doesn't really do too much either. We're going to put him back on natural style. These two guys are just going at each other on natural style. I kind of like it. They're sort of gradually working that damage up. Starting at about 40% now damage each round and working up into the 70s and 80s, it seems like. Now they're at around the 60s. They're going back and forth. It's still an even round. This is Fitch's round mostly so far. So even. Seals, big shot. It's not going to be enough to finish it, and it's just a dead heat of a round. Seals with 2 big shots again. Fitch with a big shot. Seals with a big shot. And I'd say that's a Tony Seals round. And man, oh man, is this a close fight. It is only the start of round 6. This fight isn't even we're halfway to being over with a 10-round fight. Big shot from Fitch. Fitch finally standing up to the opposition here in this round. It's another Fitch round. He's done a great job. It's not great work from Seals. There's not a lot of volume. I want to see work from Seals there. It's a round from Fitch. And see, look, it looks like Fitch is up 4-2. I don't know what you guys are looking at. You could, yeah, oh, sorry, this is the knockdown for Seals. So, yeah, it's 3-3. On my scorecards, at least, it's 3-3 right now. Fitch is less energized, and it's tough to say who's more damaged. Seals seems to have done the more damage, but that didn't reflect by the end of that round. Now it's pretty much even. With Seals, the more energetic fighter, taking the initiative in this round. It's been kind of slow the last 2 rounds, relatively. Feel like not as much output. Fitch is the one struggling with output in this round, however, and that's not good. He's on low energy. There's a big shot. Big lead hook. A big punch from Fitch. Nice combo. Fitch lands a single punch back. But it's combos from Seals and single punches from Fitch there. Which stylistically makes a lot of sense. I would say that this is a perfect time for Seals to jab and move. Force Fitch to chase him a little bit. And try to drain out the last of that energy. Seals is not very damaged right now. That low punch output has allowed Seals to shake off some of the damage that made this fight a dangerous proposition for him in the earlier rounds. I'd think he's a much more comfortable fighter right now. Fitch is going to have to do a lot of work to get Seals damaged and chain a lot of good things together in a way that he doesn't seem capable of right now, throwing these big single shots. And Seals takes that round. And this is going to start turning into a pile-on pressure affair for Tony Seals, who's chasing the victory and is well ahead in this fight. Fitch is going to need to counterpunch as Seals chases the victory. We may want to put Fitch on cover up sooner rather than later. But I am going to manage the tactics of this fight mercilessly. I have no sympathy for Andy Fitch. I'm going to keep having Seals come after him if that's the appropriate thing to do. And I'll put it on cover up when I would put it on cover up if I was just normally coaching Andy Fitch. Which, yeah, I think we do go cover up this round, and I'm going to stay just cover up versus pile on pressure. Let's see if Andy Fitch can get a knockout. Let's see if he can get a big counterpunch in. Seals is going to keep chasing. Is he going to realize that Fitch is just covering up and isn't going to box too much? Fitch lands a couple shots. It's important, but he needs to get rounds, and I don't really know if he has a way to do that. Seals is just going to keep landing on him. More big shots. Seals is back against the ropes. Fitch is back against the ropes, but he lands a big shot. There's been no cuts in the fight recently, but that's because the volume has gone way down. Seals with another big round win. He's going to head back to natural style. And Fitch, I don't know if Fitch, what would be a good strategy for Fitch here while he's tired? He's got good punch accuracy, he's aggressive, he's got good ring IQ. I weirdly think he could weirdly pile on pressure. Or he could do something kind of energetic. Smother inside isn't smart, he'll get hit. I don't think he doesn't have the energy to jab and move. Smother inside saves energy. Go to the body. I feel like Smother inside takes less energy, but he's going to get hit doing that. Plant your feet, he's also going to get hit. But he'll hit harder if they plant their feet, but he also will lose. Because Seals is also insanely aggressive, so that's not a good idea. I think he needs offense late in the fight. If there's going to be a round where he puts pressure on Seals, it'll be this one. So it's a little weird, but Fitch is going to try to pile on pressure, and let's not pretend like that isn't Fitch's game. As Fitch is going to pile on pressure and Seals is going to natural style, and we'll see what happens. Should be interesting. Let's see if Fitch really decides to go out and how much he has in the tank, if anything at all. 4 punches from Fitch there in the first minute. Seals, big one to the head. Big power shots from Fitch. It isn't super heavy damage to Seals yet. There it is. He's starting to damage Seals. Seals comes back with 1, but this is a Fitch round so far. Seals is going to need to find some combos to get back in it. Now he's damaging Fitch. At the end, Fitch with a nice 1-2, and he should have taken that round. But it's unquestionably going to be a pile on pressure from Seals. And, yeah, it's got to be a go for broke from Fitch because he's 5 rounds. He's won 5 rounds. This is a tough call from Fitch. In real life, it would depend on whether or not his corner thinks he's ahead or behind in the fight. I would think that his real corner might think he's behind. I know most of you guys are screaming for me to go for broke. He's got 17 aggression. He's got 17 ring IQ. He's not a bad go for broke fighter. I think he may have even won fights on go for broke before, but he's also a damaged fighter. And Seals is painfully aggressive, and when you do go for broke, he doesn't stop coming forward, so he's really going to not stop getting hit. I think you could see Seals land like 40 punches on him if we go for broke. I think there really is that possibility, so I don't think that's that smart for Fitch. He doesn't have the energy to jab and move, though. And pile on pressure versus pile on pressure. I just don't feel like that would be that smart, because Seals is piling on pressure. I think Fitch is just going to natural style. Hopefully he counter punches. Let's see. It's a good start to the round from Fitch. Fitch still boxing, but there's the big shot from Seals. And that might seal it. Pun very much intended. 6, 7. Oh, Fitch is up. Okay. There's another clean shot, but he's damaged. Seals landing big combinations on Fitch now. Is he going to knock out the flick of the switch, or can he flick the switch? Does Fitch have anything left? It's big pressure from Seals. Now I wish I would have put Fitch on go for broke. Maybe he'd have something to say to this. He doesn't have anything to say to this. And the ref steps in and stops it. And Tony, the real deal Seals, is very much still the real deal in the middleweight division. That was a very impressive last round. He hunted that win and got it. And Fitch was on. Let's be real. It might not matter what we put Fitch on in terms of strategy. He did a nice job to win that 11th round. That was gritty and tough, but he hadn't won a round since the 6th. He's been tired for a long time. And Seals finally got in there and stopped it in the 12th. And that was a very fun fight. And it ended about the way I thought it would. Applause to both those guys. I think Andy Fitch is about a loss away from that weight change we were talking about with him. I don't think that was that bad of a loss, though. That was a very good... He gave Tony Seals a very, very good fight. And Tony Seals is, by the way, the new North American middleweight champion. That was a blast, man. That was a fun fight. That was a fun journey getting up to that fight, too, and leading up to that fight, hyping it up, and finally seeing the actual result. And it's just unfortunate that we're not sitting here with a champion to speak for, with a world champion to speak for. But it's also awesome that we've had 3 shots to fight for it. We're gonna have a lot more in the future. Don't doubt that at all. We have Fred Morales in our stable. And here's Roger Mosquera versus Ricky Alejandro. I feel like this is a rematch. This is a trilogy, baby. This is a trilogy for the WBC. I feel like we've watched the other one, so let's watch this one too. 35-0 versus 40-3. It's only for 1 belt, but that can happen in real boxing. Crazy fights only for 1 strap. Sorry for putting it on medium. I know you guys, it's a 1 belt title fight you guys don't care about, but it was just Fitch versus Seals. You can forgive me. But I mean, let's talk about what Fitch would have to do to get a run back here. What kind of a winning streak he would have to go on. I mean, it depends on a lot of things. I think the most likely scenario is obviously a title fight, where Seals would hypothetically become the champion and then Fitch would challenge. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds for them? This is a big... Roger Mosquera is continuing to stay an undefeated fighter here against Ricky Balacondo. This is a very one-sided trilogy. Roger Mosquera has now won all 3 fights in this trilogy. And it doesn't seem to be too much of a rivalry anymore between the two. I don't know if they're going to schedule a 4th one. It's pretty definitive that Roger Mosquera is the WBC World Bantamweight title holder. I think he should start thinking about unifying. I think that's how that works. Is Marcus Conquest, who I think we've looked at before, with only 8 professional knockouts, I guess your name really can take you a long way, is getting a title shot. He's never made more than $25K in a fight, and he's now going to fight for a title. That should be interesting. And then for multiple belts, it is. So we can watch it. It should be fun. I don't think we've watched this guy before. Radzabov. We've watched him before. But Conquest isn't a bad fighter. Is this next week? No, it's in 2 weeks, so we're going to schedule an event. Ramos is absolutely getting a new contract. He has been awesome. I don't doubt he has a perfect relationship with me. He's had a great career so far. Yeah, there's nobody worth really waiting for. Amateurs. Any of our amateurs can come up by chance? No, I didn't think so. I doubt there's anybody. We'll do 1 week so we can scout, but I doubt there's anybody we can even sign. We haven't won a championship, so the game doesn't want us signing anyone good. Wouldn't want that to happen. Wouldn't want us to sign like a good fighter or something. Let me see. Yeah, we don't have anything with more than a local reputation. And that's got to be stopping us from signing people. Look at Brian Mitchell. Really good southpaw welterweight from East Bethel, Minnesota. He's got 0 fans. Only 7 conditioning is good and he cuts easy, but I'll take this guy if he wants to sign. Hell yeah. This is a good fighter. Look at that. We brought in a good fighter. We scouted and signed a good fighter. Look at that. You thought I was cooked. This guy's kind of fun. He's got good power. He's not accurate. He doesn't have good defense. But he's smart and dedicated, and he's got a good chin, and he's big, and he's a heavyweight. Kind of a bad amateur record. 6 and 8. Are there more new guys? This guy's a very small heavyweight at 6 feet. Kevin Romaine. Dion Holt is 0 and 5. No, thank you. Eben Rodriguez. I think it's Eben. He's good either way. He's got no stamina. But he's an awesome fighter. Great puncher. Great defense. Doesn't cut easy. No box office and no stamina are the only drawbacks. The intangibles are mid. Big punching, charismatic counterpuncher. Is he a counterpuncher with 20 aggression, really? Let's see if we can sign him. He's certainly big. Yes, sir. Eben Rodriguez from Harrison, Ohio. That's another good signing. I'd say they're a level below those really elite new fighters that come into the free agent pool, but we can certainly sign talented guys. I imagine some of the guys that we looked at before are still here on the free agent list. Let's take a look at the guys with the best ring IQ. That's probably where we'll find the best fighters, of course. Look at Miguel Caraway. Have we looked at this guy before? Maybe. Arnulfo Winchester. This guy is very interesting. Wow. He's not a great puncher, but he's a defensive wizard. Pretty undedicated. Kind of a weak chin, but the defense should make up for it. He's also a southpaw. And he's really smart. He's smart as a whip, and he's got great stamina. His just punching just isn't quite good. But man, I like this guy. I'm going to sign him. Aw, that sucks. He wants a title record. I guess that makes sense. We'll go back and give it another once over. Charles Thomas, so loaded at middleweight, and the guy's got no defense. Thurman's not good. Just check Perry Solomon. No. He's not bad, but no. Cruiserweights, Callisto, no thanks. Dustin Alvarado, no thanks. We've already looked at some of these guys. Isn't John Marquez the guy we really wanted from Eatontown, New Jersey? Yeah. So we'll come back and take a look at him. Now, Antonio Diaz is the actual special guy. He obviously doesn't want to sign with us. This guy's like Mayweather or something. Yeah, he's insanely talented. Just sparkling talent. 20s across the board for Antonio Diaz. I mean, if that guy's not a future world champion, I will sell my hat. No. Here's Joe Louis Garcia. We can just try, give him a once over again. Okay. You know what? I'm just done. I'm done getting rejected. We signed a couple good fighters. Peace. And Radzabov, no. We're going to schedule our fighters instead of watching random title fights. So we've got Cotrill coming off a loss. We've got Ervin coming off a big win. Mitchell and Flores could always use opportunities. Mitchell can fight this. I believe that he would be the South American champion. Yeah, but he's beatable. He's reputable and beatable. So I think maybe that's a good jump-up fight for Darius Mitchell if we want him to get closer to title contention quicker, because he's already jumping up the rankings pretty fast with all these KOs. I think Cotrill and Flores fought already, no? This has been one that's been going on for a while. Yeah, they did fight. They could do it again. Cotrill won the first time. I think I'm gonna pass on it. I think there's better opportunities for. I mean, just these guys are all here for him, but none of them want him. That's a shame. How about Vasquez? Is Vasquez better? I feel like Vasquez is actually marginally better, but we can put that on an undercard. And then Cotrill can fight Flavio Freley, actually. That's a pretty good fight against a contender. I kind of like that better coming off a loss, to be honest with you. Let's make this a main event. It's kind of dangerous, but what if we win? It's the heavyweight division, man. What if... But my darling, what if you fly? The TD Garden. Let's see what we haven't used the TD Garden yet. Let's go to Boston and use the TD Garden. Gabino Vasquez. Gabino Vasquez doesn't want the smoke from Fred Morales. That would be an absolute main event, yeah. I mean, they might fight eventually. Don't doubt me. Morales versus Vasquez very well may happen eventually down the road. Keep an eye out. Morales versus Adam Parker. Have they fought already? I think Morales has already beat Adam Parker, hasn't he? Yeah. Why do it again? How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Alex Elkins is at least ranked by somebody. It's kind of crazy that Morales doesn't have a better ranked opponent than that other than decapitating Max Rice. So, I mean, I guess we could use Max Rice as like a little step up here for Morales, but Elkins provides a better option, to be honest with you. Let's put Darius Mitchell up against the South American champion. Now, you know what? We might make that a main event. That's a cool fight. That's a cool fight. We'll sneak Flores versus whoever it was. It was, yeah, Vasquez onto this card. And then we'll save whatever Darius Mitchell does. We've got a top 50 guy here for Lamont Williams. That looks kind of like a banger. He's ranked 37th in North America. Let's do it. Talgot Yuldashev. Why would Jose Williams not fight Talgot Yuldashev? I mean, he needs a win. He's coming off a loss, I believe. I think we can just give him John Gray and let him cook. John Gray's a little tough. Ivan Montoya is an undefeated young Mexican fighter. I don't think that's in the plan. Carlos Pham. Carlos Pham is just like a slightly better version of John Gray. He's got more wins, but he's that same kind of punch accuracy demon. Albert Sanchez is very low ranked. We've only got 3 guys in the top 100. They're all kind of the same dude. They're just punch accuracy guys. We'll just take John Gray. Why not? We'll just feed him Patrick Rubin so we can keep winning. I really don't mind Kareem Ramos being a guy with a kind of unreasonable amount of wins. We just keep feeding him wins for his record. I think it's tempting to put DeRocha here in a fight against ranked opposition coming off a loss to try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. This guy's got 20 ring IQ. We've also got Jordan Garvey. They don't want to make that fight. Yoshinobu Jikan. That's probably a loss. This guy's dangerous. Alan Pena, former champion. There's this guy. How is he this far ranked down? He is so good. How is he? What happens? He lost to Salapi, and he's just had a career checkered with losses ever since then, unfortunately. He just can't get back on the win column. I don't see it. He's very talented. I don't know why he's losing so much. But he doesn't want to fight us either. How about Uriel Arce? He's got no chin and no takes punishment. Let's do it. It'll be a good win and a relatively easy win. And then we'll put... This guy should not have 6 losses. He's pretty good. Ulysses Valenzuela. That might be a decent little opponent for Hartman. Decent little early career opponent. But this is someone he'll just beat up, so let's just have him fight that guy. How many on this event? 8. Okay, so we're done with this one. Next, create show. Main event. And we were going to do Darius Mitchell versus this guy from Panama City, Panama. Give Darius Mitchell his first headlining fight. We'll do it at a smaller venue. We'll do it at some kind of casino, probably. Nah, the Westchester County Center. How long has it been since we've been here? Come on, Darius, the hallowed halls. What do you mean? What do you mean you wanted MSG? What do you mean you wanted... What do you mean you wanted TD Garden Arena in Las Vegas? Man, look at this fight. Look at this fight. Huh? I mean, you can quiet down. I mean, dude, Steve Ervin has some ops, huh? Steve Ervin just like randomly down the list here. It's like, oh, and Vladimir Bondarenko. Oh, yeah, sure. This is the guy I was talking about earlier. I think I didn't show him. Man, it's the 5 takes punishment that makes me believe he can be beaten. It would be a crazy win for Steve Ervin. And a crazy jump up. Man, you can't have that thing at the Westchester County Center. That would be the main event. For sure for Steve Ervin. Can Rios do Fundora as a main event? No, unfortunately. But yeah, we can for sure make Ervin versus Bondarenko as a main event. It would be insane if Ervin could win this fight. I kind of feel bad putting Ervin in this fight. This might not be the best decision. We're gonna have it in Ukraine too for Bondarenko. Just for extra sauce. What a crazy fight to give Steve Ervin. He's got a 4 chin. Let's just rank up that conditioning. Come on. Let's get that conditioning up there. You can do it. He just beat Gun Crusher, too. So we're going to punish him. Nah. This is a step up. This is a big step up to contendership for Steve Ervin. And a really big matchup. You know, he had Dragunov. We could have fought him during that Dragunov. That was the first sort of peak that we had at the level of contendership. And now it's taken all these wins to recover from that KO loss to Dragunov. And we might be putting ourselves up for another similar situation here. I mean, we're trying to make a main event right now. I don't really know what we have that would constitute a main event. Excited about Eben Rodriguez. Can we do Potsy? No, we can't. Can we do any of these guys? Here. This is at least a ranked fight. Rios versus Galarza. I mean, I don't like that one. Here, this is a little better versus Davoren. And then there's Vilalba. Wow, Slajan Filipovic is all the way down here. Man, what happened to Slajan? He was in some title fights. Big losing streak, mostly in title fights. Oh, 3 straight against Abreu. He lost to Abreu, drew Abreu, then lost to Abreu again. Is Abreu still undefeated? He is the still undefeated champion of the world, yes. And Filipovic has just been ranked way down. That's kind of sad. I don't know if he deserves that necessarily. We're gonna do Galarza. Right? No, we're not gonna do Galarza. We're gonna do Davoren. Yeah, that's the easier fight. Versus Davoren, as close to Bridgeport as we possibly can. Please and thank you. The Bridgeport Dome. I doubt 20,000 people are gonna show up to this, but we can try. Booking Max Rice versus Adam Parker, number 2. On the undercard. It should definitely help. I'm just being lazy. I can't come up with better matchmaking. Frankie Edwards versus Wesley Jackson. This is like such a big step up for Frankie Edwards. But it says he's got a 55% chance of winning. I have no idea how they figure that. Wesley Jackson is super tall and also very good. And very young. I don't know how many really good wins he has on his record, though. He hasn't fought very many good fighters. He's got a pretty loaded record. And we're both 14-1, so you know what? I think that one writes itself. That's a crazy strong undercard fight, rather. Underfight card. Crazy strong undercard fight. I like how his last name isn't even like remotely, didn't even look like Motion. His first name is just straight Perpetual, so I'm just going to call him Perpetual Motion because your first name is Perpetual. Tony Tovar is the most disgusting young heavyweight on the planet, and I do not want to fight him. His name might as well be Mike Tyson. I'm just staying as far the hell away as I possibly can. All of my young heavyweights are not fighting that dude. Heavyweight Eben Rodriguez. Who is he going to start off against? Hansel Hernandez. Some good young fighters. I mean, we could always just throw him against Jack Frost. Getting that first career dub off Jack Frost is always fun. Mickey Feeney. An Irishman. We haven't done a... I did an Irish... gym. I started just like in the last game. I did the same thing last time I played this game. First gym I opened was New York, and the next one I opened was Ireland. I have been thinking. I mean, so far we are doing an American only challenge. We're only using American fighters. It's not too much of a challenge. It's such a strong boxing country. I had the idea of doing a game that was set in a much smaller boxing country. It would just be interesting to sort of. I'd probably have to do some tests and just see which countries, which country creates like a weird enough amount of talent that it would be kind of hard, right? To actually really make a lot, like a world champion from there. Whatever goal I would set would have to be challenging. It couldn't be like America or Russia or Mexico or England even. It'd have to be one of those major boxing countries you don't even think about. I don't know how reputable your gym has to be able to sign from everybody on a continent, because doing an Africa only save would also be very interesting. Maybe even doing a South America only save. That might be a cool one. I think maybe that's what I'm sort of leaning towards, actually, when I think about it now. You know, when I look at the world rankings, there's not that many South American fighters. And that South American region kind of tends to get slept on. There aren't many Brazilians, there aren't many Argentinian fighters in the game, and they have to extend it out to Central America uh, with those champions. If you pay attention now, if there's a Cuban fighter and he's got a regional belt, he'll be the South American champion, even though Cuba's part of North America. So, wow, look at Max Rice, man. Look at Max Rice ranking up. What happened to? Oh, poor Fitch. Poor Fitch in the struggle. Andy Fitch in the struggle. Randy Dale. How powerful is Randy Dale? I feel like Randy Dale could go up to super middleweight one day if he starts to struggle or if he hits a wall. That hasn't happened yet, though. He's also... His losses are all understandable, man. Look at this. All of his losses. Is Randy Dale the slept-on middleweight? Could you imagine if we go through all this stuff, right? That stuff like that can happen in this game, man. We go through all this stuff with Fitch and Seals, all this drama, and Fitch and Seals, just hypothetically here, just Fitch and Seals never win a title. And then we've always said, oh, what if it's Jose Williams, right? We said this before. Jose Williams so talented. Okay, so if those two guys don't win, then it'll be Jose Williams. What if it's not him either? He's had disappointing results. He's had disappointing losses, albeit you can. I mean, to a 2-4 fighter, he got knocked out. You know, he struggled. So could it be Randy Dale? Could Randy Dale end up being the guy who takes us to the top of the middleweight division from New York, New York? It could be him. It really could. Could you imagine? Just hypothetical. Anyway, Radzhabov versus Conquest. Great round from Radzhabov. And a good second round there from Conquest to come back. And they are going to battle. Conquest is not taking this lion down, but he is not a big power puncher. But there's equal damage from both. It's such a war. Now Radzhabov has the lead. Conquest is going to have to defend himself, and he does a good job of it, but he doesn't have the most energy. He manages to steal that round. This is still a close fight. This is still a close fight. If Conquest can win this next round, okay. We have got something going on. I'm going to slow it down. I don't normally pay too much attention to this division or anything, but Marcus Conquest is putting on the performance of a lifetime. And he's pouring it on at Radzhabov now. Radzhabov finally standing up and hitting back for the first time in, honestly, a few rounds. And pick that round. You can give it to Conquest, though, and this is such a fascinating fight, as Radzhabov needs to use that last 12%. I guess the last 12% he'll ever use. And Conquest is still standing there and trading with him. Radzhabov has to take the initiative and blow him out in this round, as now he is. That's important for Radzhabov on the scorecards, no matter if this fight ends with a finish or not. But this has been an entertaining bout, as Radzhabov looked like he was going to just ball out here in the 12th round, but Conquest stands and trades. But it's good damage from Radzhabov, who's got to be chasing the finish at this point, and he's just going to keep going. The ref's going to step in. Yes, he is. Radzhabov chases the finish in the 12th. That was a valiant effort from Marcus Conquest. Do not you forget it. He might get a rematch. He proved that he deserved to be there, even though it was a bit of an early career title shot. He very much proved he deserved it. And is there a really big title fight coming up at some point here soon? Yeah. Mindy Lovett is a Ring Magazine fight. I don't know about this one, Douchai versus Nquane, but it's for a lot of belts. I don't know how good Nquane actually is. He's 4'11". He's a 4'11" super flyweight. Man, move down. Move down, bro. Move to straw. You're 4'11". Move to flyweight. Rodriguez versus Sungmin Cha. That should be a big fight. That's all the way in July. And it's May. So there's not that many big fights coming up I guess a lot of the current champions are just not scheduling really good challengers. This is going to be a good fight. Mendy versus Lovett. I think, yeah, this is a rematch after Mendy won the first fight. And we are going to keep simming as I am very... Steve Ervin is such a fun fighter. We haven't really done a little side section on Steve Ervin yet. Let's sim one more week here. But what a fun fighter he's been. Up over 300,000 fans right now. And I'd say it's well earned. He's definitely a knockout artist. He can come out of absolutely nowhere with a knockout like almost nobody else. Sore versus Jess Moreno, who doesn't have really great takes punishment. Doesn't seem like that great of a fight. And it's Zubao He versus Sonny Boy Timpani, and we have been waiting for that one. Have we? But that's going to be a fun one. Sonny Boy Timpani, he fought for the featherweight belt. That's kind of funny. He moved up from super bantam and just got a fresh featherweight title shot against Joaquin Allen and lost. But he's done some impressive work in the featherweight division. He's gotten knocked out in the first round. But he's done some other good work. It's kind of a weird title fight there against He. Again, I don't know if that's really the best opposition he could have picked. And every time I say that, I really am not trying to make a pun of his name. His name is genuinely He. I can't do anything about that. He versus Sonny Boy Timpani. That is just that's awesome. I love this game. I love this game. And it's Michael Carr versus Jared Kotzer. Oh boy. Okay, I said there weren't going to be that many good fights, and now we're just getting them thrown at us. Now we're just getting them chucked at us like God is angry with me. Like, no. Here's a billion good fights. Jose Edwards is a special fighter, man. We got to talk about Jose Edwards, too, if we're going to talk about he could really be something. Steve Ervin. Let's take a look at his career so far. It's just that chin. It's just that chin. He got knocked out by Yuseinov. That's not surprising. And he lost this 6-rounder, so who cares? And how good is this guy now? He's not that good. That's a shame. So we lost a 6-rounder and drew one to him. So I guess we just had trouble with this guy. But other than that, it's been a pretty successful career full of KOs for Unnerving Steve Ervin, including really impressive wins. Rolando Cotrill is obviously a good win. But Abando, Jenkins, Urak, and Gun Crusher are all good wins. Gun Crusher, a great win. Turgianov would have been a great win if he got it, but he got KO'd. But this is by far his most dangerous fight coming up here next week, as we're going to do Anthony Rios versus Robbie Davoren. All right, so Rios versus Davoren, cruiserweight main event tonight. As I said, we did not sell that out, but it's at the Bridgeport Dome for Sir Anthony Rios. Max Rice on the undercard. That one should be fun. Rodriguez versus Akabab. This should be an easy one for Eben Rodriguez, the first fight of his career, because we're not on fastest for some reason, frustratingly. Always want to be on fastest. You always want to be on fastest. As we do get a knockdown in round 1. We're chasing the finish. Do we get it? We have plenty of time. He's got another knockdown. This fight's over. He's going to win it before the end of the round, even if he gets up. But he doesn't get up. It's a first round knockout in the career debut of Eben Rodriguez. So good start to the career for the young man. Ramiro Rodriguez here in his 3rd career fight. And I still just can't be bothered to put it on fastest, can I? But it's another huge first round and another first round knockout for a fighter named Rodriguez, back-to-back to start the card. I think they might even both be heavyweights. Not exactly the stiffest competition, however. And it's Raymond Pena versus Perpetual Motion, which I will always call him that because his first name is literally Perpetual. I don't care what his last name is. It could be literally anything. It doesn't even matter if it doesn't start with an M. I'm just going to call him Perpetual Motion anyway. And now he's going to have to carry his Perpetual Motion back to the locker room after that one-sided beatdown at the hands of the Portland native Raymond Pena. And this is a good one. Frankie Edwards versus Wesley Jackson. 14-1 versus 14-1. Let's watch this fight on fast. Kind of crazy this fight is this far down the card. It should be the best fight of the night. Although Rios did work in his last fight after losing to 0. Edwards' big power shot. Seems to have dropped this first round, and he did. Good first round for Wesley Jackson. Edwards landing good punches there towards the end of that second round. And he takes the second round. Seems like they always alternate the first 2 rounds in almost every fight. In this game, the fighters would trade the first 2 rounds. Edwards coming back very even. I just downloaded a new game to play on the channel called Golden Lap. It's a racing simulator. It's sort of like, F1 Manager. But it seems a little more minimalistic and a little more fun and a little more niche. And it's also an indie game, so it's definitely my pace, my kind of thing here. As Frankie Edwards is chasing the victory against Wesley Jackson, who's going to be a tough out, yeah. But the 23 punches, that's good work there. But he doesn't get the finish. But he's got Wesley Jackson hurt and probably desperate. Can we jab and move on him? That would be my instinct right now. Not at all. That's not our deal. And also, we really can't go to the body because of our lack of accuracy and defensive skills. So going to the body would be a disaster as well. We should just keep it on natural style, let Frankie do his thing. He is the psycho. If we want aggression out of him, we'll get it, probably. We aren't going to have to ask for it. And Edwards continuing to do good work in that round. It's a good start to the round from Jackson. Jackson still landing shots. Continuing to come forward, despite being under duress and landing very effectively. Edwards needs to show something in this round. He's being backed up by Jackson. There's some work from Edwards. Jackson with a shot to end the round. Edwards may or may not be ahead in this fight, but he's almost tired out Jackson, and we're going to be able to tell him to pile on pressure, which is where Frankie Edwards is happy. But he's piling on pressure here without us having to tell him to. Huge round for Frankie. Great work here for Frankie, but he's still damaged. He's still over 50%. Nowhere near the damage that's on Jackson, who is also, at this point, a completely empty fighter. The battery is dead empty on Wesley Jackson as Frankie Edwards continues to march forward. Jackson landing with counter punches, but he's on the back foot this round. Edwards not doing enough damage to win the fight, however. There's a power punch from Jackson. A couple more from Edwards, and he wins that round. Very hard for me to imagine that Frankie Edwards is not winning this fight right now. He's been especially far ahead the last few rounds. Edwards well ahead now, chasing the finish, and he gets it. The ref steps in and stops it, and Frankie Edwards improves to 15-1, hands Wesley Jackson his second career loss. Tactical water sip. Rice versus Parker. Adam Parker should give a pretty good challenge here to Max Rice. But this is a Max Rice fight. A couple veteran fighters. A couple stalwarts of the division. Expect fireworks. Expect entertainment. The first round on fastest. These super flyweights. And it's a big knockdown for Max Rice. Will he get the finish in round 2? We're definitely going to tell him to pile on in round 3. Could backfire. It doesn't. That was pretty easy work for Max Rice over a guy I thought was going to be pretty even opposition, but apparently not. That was an impressive win for Max Rice. And we move on to the cruiserweight main event. Anthony Rios still looking to rebound his career from his first and sole career defeat. Big, intense first round there. A good first round for Rios in terms of doing damage, but a comeback at the end from Davoren. They both have cuts. And this is just action-packed. We're going to go on fast. This has been crazy so far. We've still got him very damaged. I maybe should have piled on pressure in this round, but it feels like I don't need to. And there's a knockdown from Rios. Davoren up at 4, but he's still very damaged. Rios landing huge shots. This fight might be about to be stopped. All he has to do is keep throwing. He's got 40 seconds. He's got to land something. Davoren back. Rios, can he finish it? He can't. Wow. Man, all he had to do was throw a little bit more. I think pile on pressure wouldn't be smart right now. Because he was just, like, he didn't throw at the end of that round. And now Davoren for the good start to the round. It's crazy Rios didn't finish. And now, I thought this was going to happen in this round anyway. I felt like almost no matter what, after Davoren survived that and we ran out of gas, Davoren was going to start, attacking. It's not a fight where we can stick and move. I think pile on pressure. Now we do. Tell Rios to get to become the aggressor again. It needs to happen. That's how this fight has been. It's been one fighter being the aggressor to another fighter being the aggressor. But it's not as much action as it was earlier in the fight. You still should give that round to Rios. But we're still in a bad risk of being knocked out. And it's another good start to the round from Davoren. And I just have to continue worrying about us getting KO'd. Rios landing a couple punches there. Davoren just teeing off. It's really disappointing from Rios, who's now out of energy. We can hopefully drain Davoren here with some big shots and cover up and countering. And it's so frustrating. Davoren just keeps landing. And here comes Rios back, finally. Rios landing good shots at the end of the round. That's a Davoren round, though. He's out of energy. But at this point, I definitely question who's ahead in the fight. We're definitely going to natural style and then pile on pressure in the last round. But he needs to actually land. Rios has found ways to be clutch in the past, though, and he is landing in this round. He is doing damage. There's some damage back from Davoren. Rios didn't like it very much. He's got him on 85%. But that's not even the most damaged Davoren has been in this fight. But that's a big round win for Anthony Rios. He has the only knockdown in the fight, remember. I think at this point, if we don't win this fight, it's a bit of a robbery. I won't be that happy. Look, I mean, yeah, come on. Come on. On some level, I feel like pile on pressure would be a little stupid. Because Rios is a good finisher anyway. I'm just going to go natural style. I don't want to lose it. Davoren, providing volume, doing damage halfway through the round, Rios. But I think if Davoren takes this round, I don't think he necessarily wins the fight. Davoren with huge amounts of punches. Rios needs to make a statement here so it's not a 10-8. How do they score that? Judge 1 scores it for us. Judge 2 scores it for us. It's a narrow, unanimous decision victory. Thank goodness for Anthony Rios. He earned that one. That was a tough fight against Robbie Davoren. And a very entertaining main event of the evening here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. But Anthony Rios walks away with a win. And his 20th professional victory. Who is, I would say quietly, but it really hasn't been that quiet. But he doesn't really have that many fans in the game, but I feel like he's one of my favorite fighters for sure. It'd be nice to see him up here with our top guys at the promotion in terms of popularity one day. He definitely deserves it. And we are 1 week away from Steve Ervin with the biggest fight of his career against Vladimir Bondarenko. He is going to, if he wins that fight, I mean, that's the kind of win you can't take away from a guy. Bondarenko is a very, very real fighter. If Ervin manages to find a way in that one, he's proved himself in the super middleweight division pretty much. Not to the extent of being a champion, but you can't say he's not a contender if he beats Bondarenko. That's a nasty fighter. And I made fun of myself for even scheduling this fight when I scheduled it. Apparently there's only one fight on this card. Only 2,000 people showed up. Okay. Was I completely high when I scheduled that? Why are there no more fights on the card? So it's just the main event. All right, cool. I mean, that it's not like that's unprecedented in boxing or something. I'm sure that's happened in boxing before. Did I accidentally do that in the other ones? No, this has 8 fights on it. Okay, good. And this only has 1 fight on it. Okay. All right, can I add fights to this? Will they actually let me? It seems like they will, yeah. It's 4 weeks, so cool. Good I caught that. I don't necessarily want to add any of my big fighters to it. Maybe Randy Dale. Just give Randy Dale an easy win here on short notice. Manroy Conga. That guy's kind of got a cool name. Add it to that one. Just so that I don't accidentally have a fight with 1 card. With 1 fight on it. Pina over Ueno. Do that one. Let's do Brian Mitchell, who's new. Against this bad fighter. He's got big power. I don't want him getting KO'd. Can we get our boy an easy win? Klaus Peterson. Here we go. This guy is horrible. Maybe Denmark would be a good country to do our challenge in. Sign only Danish fighters. Because, like, that guy is not that good. Maybe Denmark might have a pretty low standard. Because that's what I want to do. I want to do a country with like a low standard for boxing and see if I can make just how far I can get. I don't even know what the aim would be. But it would just be a fun challenge to have because, like, doing it in the United States, in New York, is a little easy. You get to the championship level fighters immediately. Like, pretty much. This is a very long game, right? Like, we're not that far along into this playthrough right now. But here's the main event. We're not making anybody wait around. It's a shame not that many people showed up. But Ervin versus Bondarenko, we don't have to wait at all. Bondarenko, he doesn't take punishment well, but he's a dangerous fighter. Ervin doesn't have the most aggression, so I might lean on pile-on pressure here because it's not really a subtle strategy, and he's got a safe amount of aggression. Although, who knows? It might not be a good idea to pile-on pressure against a fighter with better aggression than you, right? So I'm definitely not going to start the fight on pile-on pressure. We're going to just start it on natural style. But Bondarenko is a special fighter, and I don't necessarily expect Ervin to win here. Unfortunately. Not exactly the most action-packed first round of all time. Bondarenko already has an injury to his left hand. And it's a knockdown for Ervin. Wow. Is Bondarenko going to get up? No. Steve Ervin has knocked out Vladimir Bondarenko. All that stuff about how scary of a fighter he was. And he threw 9 punches, didn't land 1 power punch. Nothing happened in the first round, and then Ervin knocked him out. Wow. What a win for Steve Ervin. I said he could prove himself. We'll see how far that win goes. I don't know how much clout he'll get from such a weird win. It'll be interesting to see. It will most certainly be interesting to see. It doesn't seem like he gained any fans at all. I don't see one more fan in his fan counter. But it's another great win for the unnerving one. As he continues to climb up the middleweight division and grab wins despite that suspect chin. And let's go to this Champ Magazine, WBC, IBF, and WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship fight between Tijan Mindy and Mr. Adam Lovett. I love it. I love it. Definitely fastest. Ooh, good start from Lovett, trying to get his belt back. Lovett, man, the challenger. He gets knocked down and gets back up at 9. Wow. A big shot from Mindy there. Representing the Gambia, the River Nation. Lovett. Oof. This is a crazy fight. Mindy with a big round 5. Lovett with a big round 6. And we head into round 7. Lovett has also been knocked down. I do not envy you scoring this fight. You can only really see 1 round here for Mindy. And he's been knocked down. Oh, no, never mind. He has the knockdown. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's a tough fight to score, right? Because Levitt's got 4 rounds and Mindy's got 2, but he's also got the only knockdown. And then he wins another round there. Both fighters are near empty, but Mindy is near being TKO'd. I have no words. And there's the TKO from Lovett. Lovett got a big round. Got his final win there in round 9 and chased Mindy down and knocked him out. And these guys have an awesome rivalry with each other. And Adam Lovett has built up very quickly one of the more entertaining careers in this game, and all just inside of one weight class without changing weights at all. And everybody on the planet wants a third fight there between Mindy and Lovett, I'd have to imagine. I do. I know I certainly do. I want to see who wins that rivalry in the end. Let's schedule. Well, no, this one's this week too. Yeah, this is a fascinating fight. And Kwane, great ring IQ, great punch power, and that can be crucial, especially against a guy with bad defense like Dao Choi, who's lost before. But Dao Choi is the reigning champion. And this is for a whole lot of belts. And Kwane, for all that power, extremely undersized. It's insane that he's got that power at 4'11", but he does. And Kwane, 39-3-1, very impressive record with lots of knockouts, unsurprisingly. But he's the more damaged fighter. Dao Choi's accuracy making all the difference. And Kwane gets the big shot and knocks out Dao Choi. What a moment in super flyweight history. We've got a 4'11" power punching super flyweight champion. How about that? That is awesome. What a punch. What a KO. It's Thomas Young, the New York native, getting a brand new contract from us. When is this? This is only for one belt. That I don't care that much. This is for that random. This is a 2 belt. I just don't care about the strawweight division that much. And Davila isn't like, he doesn't have enough undefeated wins for me to really care about his undefeated record being at risk. Martinez versus Imai might be interesting next week because they're both just really good. That could kind of be a classic. I don't know about Fujigami versus Kelly either. Okay. Let's advance a week. And then I'm gonna scout a little. For some reason I've really been just into the idea of scouting lately. The concept of scouting. Not so much the machinations of actually signing anyone, but just looking at fighters and oohing and awing. Miguel Caraway, I would just love to have him. But I don't think, yeah, it's just not going to be. Well, let's look at the brand new guys who are at the bottom. Get that ring IQ right here. Oh, Ronald Herrera. No. Apply. There we go. Mikey Truax from Mission Viejo. Cool name, cool town. I don't know. The actual town's cool. Cool name. Cool name for a town. Not good. Not a good fighter. Unfortunately. One moment, please. Tactical. Cell phone message. Text. Instagram message break. Kevin Romaine. Pacific, Missouri. I'm pretty sure that's where the college is. Alexander Wiggins. Listen, I kind of mess with this guy. Hear me out. Punch accuracy. First off, he's a lightweight. I think we're kind of weak at lightweight. Good amateur record. Which makes me think he's going to want a championship promoter, and he's not going to sign with us. Decent intangibles. No box office. Incredibly dirty. Cut super easy. And isn't good defensively. Who knows? I like him, though. He might lose some fights, especially because of those cuts, but I just think he's a warrior. And I like the name Alexander Wiggins, too. Let's see if he wants to sign. Nice. Let's give him a 3 fight. I don't mind that at all. That's a fun fighter. Okay. We signed somebody. I don't even think we have a spot left. We don't. We can expand the gym. We can still scout. If we see somebody we really want, we can just expand the gym. Providence, Rhode Island. Anthony Adam from Laurel Bay, South Carolina. I just don't like the takes punishment. He's got really good intangibles, though. He's 29. And it's another middleweight, super middleweight guy. Mark Jackson we already looked at, and that's pretty much it for the new guy. Oh, man, never mind. Look at Manuel Soto. Wait just 1 second. Back it up. We're going to upgrade this gym here. And I'm going to try to sign Manuel Soto and see if he wants to sign. We're state of the art. If we go large, I guess this gym will become our largest gym. But we're going to spend that money because I want those signing slots. Oh, I think this is our main... I don't know. No, this is our second gym, clearly. Whatever. It didn't let me expand it to 15. I would have done that. Where is that guy? Where are you? Manuel Soto from Buffalo, New York. Please sign with us. Let's go. What a fighter we just brought in. Manuel Soto. Look at him. Look at him. He's got just about everything. Conditioning is an 8. That's it. This dude can move up to heavyweight, too. He's big. 6'4". He's a big light heavyweight. He'd be a big cruiserweight. I mean, dude, if this guy struggles at all, I'm moving him up. I hate that his chin is an 11. I hate that if it gets cracked, it's going to go down, but he's got 20 defense. I need to remember to use this guy's size at light heavyweight. I need to remember to stick and move with this guy a little bit, even though he doesn't have great punch accuracy. I wish he did. I really wish he did. If he did, he'd unquestionably be a champion. With the 15 power and 12 accuracy, he's going to need to get a little lucky. But the 20 aggression, I like. He's a good fighter. He's an interesting fighter. I'm not going to be surprised if he loses, just because he isn't like an elite puncher. But man, I've got high hopes for him. I've got high hopes for that dude. That guy is a really good light heavyweight. I'm going to put the kibosh on scouting for now. I'm sick of scouting. Unless Joe Louis Garcia, one more call? No. I'm just calling Joe Louis Garcia like the shot from behind of me sitting on my bed with the phone up to my ear. It's raining. Come back to me. Just give me one more chance. Just give me one more chance, Joe Louis Garcia. Mike Romaine doesn't want to fight us. Danny Rios does. I feel like we fought Carlos Octavio Martinez before. Dude, I like that Steve Ervin. Steve Ervin just takes the dangerous fights, huh? That really is a dangerous fight. Jade Kambosos is more ranked and way easier. Okay. Has Ervin fought Kambosos before? Because that's a main event for sure. Never. It's another big name for the Ervin one. I don't know what else he has to do to please you. Let's see. I mean, like, Kapachev doesn't have a title fight booked. Come on, where you at, boy? What's up? I'm ranked. Call me. Andre Illiev, you only have one belt. Oh, he's got a cut. I mean, maybe in 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't see anybody else highly ranked for Ervin, though. That's the problem. Which leads me to believe that, like, he isn't actually... Oh, here we go. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's an outside chance there could be a title shot in there if we wait 2 weeks for that one belt. I guess there's an outside chance. This guy is a demon. I'm not fighting that guy. Erlen Guerin. Yeah, this guy's got one takes punishment as well. So I kind of think they're both easy assignments, him and Kambosos. Kambosos has that crazy punch power and defensive skills. And he's got 4. That one takes punishment. I don't know how this guy is beating anyone. He just lost to a TKO one. Well, I wonder how. He lost to Kambosos himself. So we're going to take this fight. This guy is overranked and bad, and we're going to humble him. That's what's going to happen. The best boxing quote was for real. That dude who they had like the pre-fight, like whatever shit talking session, and the dude is just stares down Deontay Wilder and goes like, "I walk this earth like a god," and then it just cuts to him getting fucking obliterated in the first round. It was showed it to Deontay Wilder. Yeah, I walk this earth like a god, like prime Deontay Wilder. Got bombed on immediately. Andy Fitch. This is sad to see. Having to throw Andy Fitch on an undercard against some random no-name. He's not even got... He's got one fight offer in the top 100, bro. Andy Fitch is going through some character building right now. Andy Fitch is going through the character building part of the movie. Matendre Manganda. Skills, stamina, ring IQ. I like the fight. I just don't want to lose. I really don't want to lose it. But you know what? If he does lose this fight, it'll be, I guess, telling about Andy Fitch. And this guy at least says he's the number 25 ranked fighter in the world, so. Jose Edwards trying to stay undefeated. Kerry Rodriguez is in the top 100. Little dangerous. Adam Prado, not quite so dangerous and bad, takes punishment. We'll take him. We could do a first fight in the career of Alex Wiggins. I just saw some good fights for McCreary, so we should make another main event for him probably. How many fights are on this Fitch card? I know it's not actually 3. Sorry, this Ervin card. It is actually 3. Uh-oh. So I don't really know if we can make a main event for McCreary because we have to book 3 more fights on this one. Let's give Wiggins his first fight against this dude with 15 losses. And then Rodriguez can fight Oscar. Ramiro Chavez. No. Eves Thompson. Bill Green. Xavier Graves. Why is there nobody even decent? Larry Peterson is the only one, and he doesn't want to fight us. Tony Tovar is a monster. So is Oscar Garcia. These are all the guys we wanted to sign. Blaze Camazelli is top 100. Good ring IQ. Sorry, top 200, so we'll take him. And then Manuel Soto versus Eric Tyner. Keenan Drocha kind of has a salty record at this point with 13-5-1, but I don't care. I just can't bring myself to care. Let's get that takes punishment up for Rico Hartman. Again, he's still a stick and move guy, though, because of his size. Let's upgrade the ring IQ for Thomas Young. Does Ramiro Rodriguez have any upgrades? Somehow no. That's worrying because he needs a lot of upgrades. Sorry, Raymond Pena. Got a lot to upgrade here. Let's upgrade the old Shin. Try to keep him undefeated. Randy Dale with 4 losses. We can't upgrade the defense. That's all that I always want to upgrade with on him. Same thing with Jose Williams. He just needs better defense. Stop losing fights. Kareem Ramos still undefeated. Let's give him ring IQ. How big is Kareem Ramos for a welterweight? Interesting. I feel like he could move up a little bit, weirdly. I feel like he could definitely move up to super welterweight if he struggles in the future. Frankie Edwards, yes sir. I'd say Frankie Edwards needs ring IQ. And let's give him... Let's just get me... I don't know how much of a difference 6 defense makes above 5, to be honest with you. He kind of is who he is as a fighter. Lamont Williams can take... Let's give him ring IQ. He needs defense too if we can give it to him. No, we can't. McCreary, after that loss, I think we upgraded him already. We did. Fred Morales is fighting today, and he's undefeated. The only thing we can level up is dirtiness, because he's almost a perfect fighter. At least in terms of things we can actually level up. Let's start the night. Ricardo Cotrill versus Flavio Freley is the main event here in the TD Garden in Boston. We got Fred Morales and David Flores going tonight as well. And it's a first round knockout for Rico Hartman. Only took 1 minute and 23 seconds. Keenan DeRocha, also known for KOs, versus Uriel Arce. Should be a good one. Big attacking first round from DeRocha. And then a good start to the second round from Arce before DeRocha knocks him down. And then they just go toe-to-toe in the second round. And the ref eventually steps in to stop it and basically just lifts DeRocha's hand up and says, "You win." So that's a good win for DeRocha. And, of course, another knockout for the man who... How many people does he have to knock out before you start respecting him? He has no fans and is making no money, but he's knocked out everyone. Tough game sometimes. Cruel game sometimes. Kareem Ramos versus an under 500 fighter in Patrick Rubin, who just took a round from him. Luckily, it's a 10-rounder, so Kareem has plenty of time to get off of his ass, as he is doing now. Kareem Ramos is struggling in this fight. We're going to pile on pressure. He's still struggling. We're going to go for broke with the last of this energy is to try to get Ramos to have some kind of a big round. There we go. Now in round 9. Great round by Ramos. And Ramos, despite early difficulties, improves to 9-0. Jose Williams looking to get back in the win column. crazy first round. He gets a knockdown, then Gray comes back and lands a bunch of damage. But Williams has him teetering on the brink, and there he goes. He chases him down in round 2 and gets the KO. Lots of fun fights, lots of quick KOs tonight, lots of action. That first Hartman fight was crazy. Williams, another big, crazy first round. Lots of punches. Close second round, close third round. Williams off to something of a lead. Let's jab and move. I haven't hit jab and move in a while. That was stupid. So we're going to go on cover up now. We get some good counter punching work done there. Back to natural style. That's a good round there for Williams. And now we're going to pile on pressure for one more round. It's a pretty even round. We're going to go natural style. Hopefully we have some energy left after this. And we're just going to go for broke in the last round because this is a close fight. And whatever happens, happens. That was a crazy tilt. That was a fun, very close fight that is narrowly won on decision by Lamont Williams. Thomas Manzarez gave him a good fight, and he might want a rematch. The judges only gave him, well, I don't know how many rounds the judges gave him, but it looks like he only won 3 rounds on punches. It was a 3-point victory on the scorecards by Lamont Williams, 96-93. Flores versus Vasquez. I want David Flores to start getting some momentum, but it really could be that these other heavyweights we have just end up taking Flores' thunder or his perspective thunder. I mean, he needs to show me the thunder here. Jab and move. Now we go to the body. Nice. Couple of good strategic rounds there, and then a first round KO when we put it back on natural style. Beautiful strategizing there from me. That was all me. None of that was David Flores. That was all me, baby. We jabbed and moved. We went from the outside. We go to the body to get inside. And then we're like, hey, aren't you tired of strategizing? Just go out and do your thing. And he lands a one-punch KO. Brilliant. And the Florida man looking to improve to 15-0 against this Hungarian menace. And he is no menace at all, as he does not throw one punch in the fight. Fred Morales throws 9 punches, and it's a one-punch KO. 51 seconds into round 1. Fred Morales does, in fact, stay undefeated. I told y'all he was special. I told y'all he was special. And it's Ricardo Cotrill in the heavyweight division against the big Swissman Flavio Freley. This should be an action-packed one. And it's a big power shot from Cotrill to start. Cotrill accused of not really being much of an entertainer for a heavyweight, but his knockouts say otherwise. He has been known in the past for his ability to pull a big moment out of the bag. But he's taking some power shots here. Do we need him? I think we're going to go to the body here and help him lean on his aggression advantage. Because he does have a significant aggression advantage, but he's getting beat up here. Just gets into Freley's range trying to go to the body, and Freley starts teeing off. It's not a good round from Cotrill. That can happen. Are we the larger man? No. This is tough. I don't really have much of a way to gain an energy advantage on him. Truth be told. Don't really have much of a way. We're just going to have to start landing big shots. It may even be a case of, it's a heavyweight fight, just say look for KO. Because we're down bad right now. He's beating on us. He's got a big advantage. He's got a big advantage on energy. And we just got to land a big power shot to turn things around. Genuinely. Because I don't have any other way to drain him of his energy. But Freley is just still landing. Cotrill has not really put up much of a fight against Freley here. And part of me is beginning to think, when do we just start piling on pressure, even if we don't know if we have that pressure and just risk getting KO'd. It's a good start to the round from Cotrill, but it's been low volume from Freley for the first time in the fight, who now starts to come back. But Cotrill, 10 toes down, wins the round just by a little bit. And I mean, look, this maybe could be a close fight. There's just been no volume from Cotrill. And at some point, it's got to come. There's a big power shot from Freley. And Cotrill, once again, it's just an empty minute. He doesn't throw a punch in the first minute of the round. Finally begins to let off in the second minute, but it's only with a couple punches, and it's a big round for Freley. And yeah. See, at this point, I'm just going to go pile on pressure because he isn't throwing punches. We've got barely any energy left. And hopefully, at the end of this pile on pressure round, we have enough energy to go for broke. But immediately, Freley just pops a combo on us. And there we go. Cotrill starting to land. He has to get inside. He has to get inside the range and make something happen. He just has to. Oh, but there's a knockdown from Freley. And that might have been coming the whole fight. Cotrill manages to get back to his feet. I'm impressed with that. But it's more big power shots from Freley. This fight's about to be over. There's a big shot to the head, and Cotrill gets stopped by Flavio Freley. And that, it's not just that he lost, it's how he lost. That was a bad performance. I don't use that word lightly. That was bad. He's only 23. You know, keep that in mind. But it didn't really seem like he showed up to fight there. It didn't really seem like he showed up to fight there, and I'm glad we can upgrade his takes punishment because he needs it. I'm going to keep him now that we've given him that upgrade. He's still a young fighter. 4 losses isn't as many, especially for an undersized heavyweight. But he does seem a little too big to move down to cruiserweight. I don't know if he's got a move anywhere in him. It says it's got negative effects if he changes down to cruiserweight. I'd think we'd be more likely to just cut him than change his weight class, to be honest with you. I know it's a little mean, but we have a lot of really good heavyweight prospects down here coming up. I mean, look. So we'll see. Rico Hartman is such a good fighter, man. It really is kind of sad what happened to Andy Fitch. How far he's fallen down the pecking order. Gomez versus Tetsuya Amagasa. Pretty small lightweight. Brawler. Fun fighter. Let's see. He's never fought for a title before. He started off the save in the super featherweight division with 3 losses. And now he's come all the way back to receive a undisputed title shot against Gilberto Gomez. And yeah, I mean, we've got McCreary fights. This big David Flores versus Michael O'Malley. That's a nice step up for Flores. I don't know if there's an easier step up for him into the high-ranked members of the heavyweight division, but we can definitely give him a main event, and that's what we're going to do when I get back. So this is a crazy fight for Tony Seals. I don't know if we should take it. It's also a bigger opponent, but that's usually the case for Seals. Aysin, is it Zanibek Aysin from Kazakhstan? Very good defensive fighter, excellent stamina. Be another tough matchup for Seals. So a lot of top world-ranked guys. Klaus-Peter Teichmann we know is a monster. We looked at him plenty of times before. So it's pretty much a minefield for Tony Seals. This might be the easiest win out of the lot. Zaruglian. He's ranked by pretty much everybody out of Georgia. But is he that much better? Soria would be such a big win in the division. And I mean, when you've got a guy who's ranked number 10 in the world, this guy's ranked number 22. Teichmann is 23. Aysin is 31st. The game thinks we have the best chance to beat Aysin. Aysin might not actually be that good. He's got good stamina. You know, it's the low ring IQ, and he's not as good of a puncher as we are. And we've got good defensive skills. I'm going to take... man, he's big, though. He's a huge middleweight. 82-inch reach. 6'3". We're going to have to go to the body, and he's an accurate puncher. So I don't necessarily like that matchup either. I think this guy is the best chance we have. Zaruglian. I think we can handle this guy. Number 22 in the world. I think it's more important making sure that Tony Seals can win fights and not fall further down the rankings then take that jump up when it isn't that huge of a jump up. It's a big jump up, that one top ranked fight we had, but I don't think it's worth it to lose it. Flores versus O'Malley is a fight that I don't know. I feel like Flores is is there somebody we could fight where he has a chance to really win that fight? It's just a matter of Flores maybe not really being cut out for this level of a division. It's sad to say. This guy's 31st in the world. He wouldn't be a bad fight or a bad win. Michael O'Malley is top 10. But he's just real trouble, right? I mean, he's kind of similar to Flores, though. Look at how similar they are. He's just a little better. But honestly, he's smaller. He's only got 6 KOs. He's not that good of a puncher. He's got that defensive skills, aggression, chin, and stamina. He's very similar to Flores. You know what? I'm gonna make this. I'm not gonna add this to the show. This is a main event of its own. But actually, upon further consideration, I'm going to make that fight. David Flores versus Michael O'Malley. And we are going to have it only interesting arenas here. We got the Butte Civic Center. I can't believe we're already down here at the Las Vegas Convention Center, the Virgin Hotel, Las Vegas, the Entertainment and Sports Arena. I'm just going to take the Allstate Arena in Rosemont because that is the biggest venue. I don't even know where Rosemont is. Illinois? Fine. Well, sure. I have to go there, apparently. I have to go there and watch this fight. In this universe, not in real life. But they're going to make me go to Rosemont, wherever that is. I'm going to find out where it is when I go there to watch this fight. South American champion Alfredo Mamani, 21st in the world. Honestly, like, why? We're going to beat the crap out of him. It's not that good of a fighter. Kun Chong from Macau. Interesting fighter. No, I think Mamani is the easiest choice here. I mean, this guy from Namibia is a pretty crazy fighter and is ranked by pretty much everyone, but I think so is Fred Morales. I don't really care. We're going to take this fight. This is an easy win. We're going to add it to the Tony Seals card. Whoops. Who does McCreary have here? This could be a fun one for McCreary. This guy's got terrible takes punishment, is decently ranked. McCreary is also better than this Tommy Flores guy. So he's got a couple easy wins. Tommy Flores is slightly more ranked and slightly higher ranked, so we'll take him. Nice, nice. We don't have that many more guys to book. We got to book a co-main for this other one, and I don't really see anybody with a big fight on deck to make a co-main event. I guess we're just going to have to do Jose Williams versus Carlos Ron. That'll kind of be a fun fight. Ludwig Haupt. David Flores. Wow, look at that. What the hell? David Flores becoming a top-ranked heavyweight. Our first world-ranked top 10 heavyweight. How about it? Kapachev versus Emerson Gomez. This is going to be a crazy fight. But we have our first highly ranked heavyweight in the world heavyweight rankings, David Flores, and he richly deserves it. Look at that. Ranked 1st, 2nd, 5th, and 3rd. I don't know what he did to deserve that over some of the other guys in the division, but you know what? He's up here. Look at him go. Look at him fly. What a development in the career of Mr. Andy Flores, although he has been on a very impressive run of form. Win on win on win on win on win, and he has proven to be, yeah, again, we just said it, our first real heavyweight contender, a 24-year-old southpaw from Placentia, California. I respect it so much, I'm going to say the name of his town right now. I'm not. It's called Placenta. I fooled you. I faked you out. It's definitely called Placenta. Man, it's incredible just to see him ranked by pretty much everyone. They're hating on him. The IBF's hating on him. Has him down like 7th or something. I have no idea if he really is that good of a heavyweight, but you know what? We're gonna find out against Michael O'Malley. Maybe they're just trying to hype up the O'Malley fight. That could be it. He scheduled the O'Malley fight, and they're like, "Oh, put him in the rankings." Gotta sell tickets. I mean, that's how boxing works in real life. That is how boxing works in real life. It's basically an industry accepted that you get brought up the rankings when your big pay-per-view fight is coming up. I mean, Manny Pacquiao is the #5 welterweight in the world. It's 2025, right? That's apparently true, according to the whatever organization is putting on his comeback fight. It's apparently true. He's the 5th best welterweight in the world. Dangerous first round for Cernoy, who needs to jab and move with those long arms. This is interesting. He's taking a lot of damage here in this fight. Wow, this has been a crazy heavyweight tilt so far. We're going to stay on jab and move. I swear that's going to work eventually. He's got a 90-inch reach. Nice. And we managed to wear him out there. Natural style. Let's pile on pressure. Do not like a guy with 90-inch arms piling on pressure. That is not a good thing for the opposition. That's another big win for Dimash Cernoy. Eben Rodriguez versus Wa Marubela. Bad start to the fight, Rodriguez, but he does big damage anyway. This guy does not have good takes punishment, huh? We're going to look for KO on this guy. I feel like this guy, again, I feel like he doesn't have good takes punishment. There we go. And we give him some punishment. And it's a win for Eben Rodriguez. Brian Mitchell versus Klaus Peterson. Pretty even round 2. A really good round 3 from Mitchell. We're going to pile on and try to get the finish. And there we go. Lovely stuff. Pena versus Yuseinov. More excellent work from Pena. Ooh, and look at that. Pena up to 7-0. And it's Randy Dale versus Manuel Conga. Battle of the veterans. Can Randy Dale keep being the most underrated fighter at this organization? Yes, sir. Randy Dale. How about that? Darius Mitchell. Main event versus Melquiades Saavedra. Melquiades Saavedra from Panama City. That's a good first round by Saavedra. No, a comeback from Mitchell there at the end of the round, actually. And now Mitchell doesn't throw a single punch in that round, and that's concerning. I mean, you're a 12-0 fighter, right? Saavedra used a lot of his energy to get us up to 93% TKO. We're going to go and cover up. This is concerning me. Saavedra is significantly outlanding us. He's got a really good chin. He doesn't take punishment well. We're a better puncher. I'm going to jab and move and see if that works. Yeah. We won the round. I don't know about go to the body. We're going to try it. We get knocked down. Don't like that at all. We're going to stay on cover up this round, and then we are going to just absolutely hound him for the last 3 rounds. We're going for broke. We're not piling on pressure. We need knockouts. I'm just going to... No, we're just going to keep piling on pressure. I don't care. If he wants to hit me, he can hit me. Go for broke again. I want you to give it your all, Darius. Nope. And that's a loss for Darius Mitchell. We're lucky the scorecards were so close. We only lose by a point on all 3. But that's a disappointing result there in the career of the Pride of New York, Darius Mitchell. A really gifted puncher, great stamina, but the ring IQ. I mean, you got to figure that plays a part of it. That was just not a very impressive performance from Darius, and we're going to start having to look at him for maybe a weight change, maybe something. He could definitely move up. He might be being harmed by the weight cut here. He might need to move up in weight, but I think we're still losses away from that. He's got so much power at this weight class. The 12 knockouts and 12 wins. I mean, that might indicate that he has too much power, that he does need to go up in weight. We'll keep seeing. I don't think it's necessarily time for that yet. That wasn't a great loss, though. It very well may signal that. Anthony Rios, we absolutely need to give a new contract. I'm pretty shocked we haven't committed fully to a weight change yet. There's been plenty of weight changes I've seen in the save, and we have not actually done one. But I think it's also a testament to how successful our fighters have been. I think we're getting close to that with Steels needing to move, feeling the need to move. Fitch, feeling the need to move Andy Fitch down. Brian Mitchell, I don't know why he doesn't just have a new contract. He's barely even shown anything. But if he wants a 5 fight, we'll give it to him. Raymond Pena very much deserves a new contract. Lovely, lovely. And like I said, we can now add... We'll go 1 week and then we'll add fights to that card. Let's get to scheduling. Let's get to scheduling. We've got this fight. It's in 4 weeks. We need 3 fights on this card. Raymond Pena, he just fought, so let's get him a real easy win here. There, Jackie Gale, that'll do it. Brian Mitchell, Clarence Jones. Oh, Johns. It's an easy win for him as well. And then one more fight. Eben Rodriguez versus Eric DeVille looks pretty good. Oscar Alexander. Phil Green is 1-0. There's a lot of these guys who are 0-0. Maybe we can try to sign some of these guys. There's some new, looks like heavyweights. Here, Jonathan Owens is... This guy's... Wait, hold up. Mark Jackson is ranked 2nd by the Ring magazine, apparently. And... Reyes, bro? Let's fight Reyes. We gotta get Reyes on the record. He's also apparently ranked... He's the 9th heavyweight in the world by the Ring. I think that's a glitch. I don't think that's real. But there were some decent heavyweights in there, so let's go onto the scouting screen. They've piqued my interest. They have piqued my interest. Y'all got any of them heavyweights? Do y'all have any of them heavyweights I have been hearing so much about? This game is about finding the largest, most capable men. That's what it's about. There's nothing homosexual about it at all. We just sit here and read through the attributes of the biggest, strongest men and try to pick the biggest, strongest 6'8" man that we possibly can to walk in the door and be the biggest, strongest man with the biggest height and the longest arms, the longest, biggest, strongest arms that can hold us through the tender nights of... box and like fight and like it's not gay because they only hug each other sometimes, and sometimes they also hump each other. Like, who is Maidana humps Adrian Broner. That's right. That was the best. I was like, wait, what was the fight where the guy humped the guy? And oh yeah, it was Adrian Broner. Maidana humped Adrian Broner while he was kicking his ass. Well, I think it's because Broner did it first. So he did it back. That's right. That is something Broner would do. I don't think Maidana would actually do that. Broner was the one who initiated it. Rodriguez versus Cha. This is a pretty sick fight in the flyweight division. If there's a man who's going to take Luis Rodriguez's undefeated record, it's Seungmin Cha's up there. Has Seungmin Cha been a champion? Hard to believe that he hasn't with that kind of a record. Yes, he has in the past. Lost it a long time ago. Lost to Arben Boyles for the Asian flyweight championship. Bet he regretted taking that fight. Fought a lot of prospects, fought a lot of young guys, but he took Marco Antonio Reyes and Song Kunpin Wang's undefeated records. So he certainly is a reputable force in this division. And let's see if he can take Luis Rodriguez's undefeated record. You bet they've been saying that in the run-up to this one. This is a highly anticipated fight, Rodriguez. Putting his knuckles onto Seungmin Cha's face. And this fight is over very, very quickly. Luis Rodriguez is still the undefeated champion of the world, 18-0. Now, Saavedra Yusupov, this is going to be an easy defense. But you know what? He's over 40-0. It's for 2 belts. Yeah, him and Ray are tied for the most significant undefeated champion in the world right now. It's crazy. We still have not won a belt, but all things in time, all things in time. It shows how hard it is that we still haven't won a championship. Good round from Yusupov. Ooh, Jelly, the 13 loss challenger, coming in and putting damage on the undefeated Yusupov. Yusupov, though, continuing to pour forward, continue to control the fight. He might have lost that round. He's had a broken jaw since round 2. So if you don't think Yusupov is the real deal. Ooh, but he's damaged. A big round there from Jelly. Could Jelly get it done? I know that's probably not how his name is pronounced. I'm just going to pronounce it Jelly like it's got a J in it. And then a poor round to follow up in the last round of the fight. And Jelly's got to look for a KO here over Yusupov, who's done an incredible job after breaking his jaw in the second to come through and pretty much cruise to a unanimous decision win. Now he can go to the doctor. Oh, man. That was a fight. Saavedra Yusupov, 42-0. He took a lot more damage and a lot more lumps in that fight than I bet he was comfortable with. Maybe work on the defense next camp. Maybe put some priority on the defense next camp, huh? And Soda. gets his second career victory in as many fights as we expected. The most impressive light heavyweight fighter I've signed. I would go so far as to say that Manuel Soto might be the most impressive fighter for his division that I've signed. I look at his physicals and his attributes, and I just see cruiserweight champion of the world, not light heavyweight champion of the world. He's a little broken at light heavyweight. If he starts struggling, I'm just gonna move him right up. Really, if he loses maybe even 2 fights, I'm done. Rodriguez, he's only dropped 1 round here to Kamazeli. It would be a tough break if he gets a draw or a loss, but he needs to win this round. He gets knocked down. And he gets the KO. All right, cool. Okay, cool. He got knocked down. I was worried when he got knocked down that he wasn't going to get the KO. He got up at the count of 8, though, and then charged at Kamazeli and stopped the fight. So another win there for Ramiro Rodriguez. Everyone will forget about the knockdown. Nobody cares. Alexander Wiggins. He was chasing the finish. Gutierrez gave him a nice challenge there in round 2, but then in round 3, it's all Wiggins. And it's a 2-0 professional record. As we continue to get wins for our undefeated prospects. Speaking of undefeated prospects, Jose Edwards looking to get towards that 10-0. He drops a couple of rounds there to start the fight, then piles it on in the 3rd. We're going to pile it on more in the 4th. And I feel like we've lost 3 of the first 4 rounds here, and we just dropped another one. So this is turning into a fight that Edwards is losing. He needs to go to the body. There we go. I feel like we're better than him on paper. Let's jab and move for a round. Let's try to wear him out and do some damage. Nicely done. And now we can pile on pressure. I feel like that kind of took the fight back even. Don't know if we won that round either, but I'm going to keep piling on just for this round. And we get the stoppage. Good job, Jose. Scorecards don't matter. Just keep doing damage, keep chasing the finish, and Jose Edwards is now 9-0 with 8 knockouts. And the chief supporting bout, Andy Fitch, in a comeback bout after losing, I believe he did lose the Undisputed. It's been a couple days. Yes. Well, he didn't lose the Undisputed. He lost the title. He's lost 2 title fights, actually 3. First to undefeated Bill Donnelly, not undisputed, to undefeated Bill Donnelly for the WBC and WBA, and then he fought for the other 2, the IBF and the WBO, against Christian Yuseinov, another undefeated fighter, and lost that as well, and then lost to his stablemate Tony Seals. So it's been a rough stretch recently for the flick of the switch. We're thinking about moving him down, and I think this could be our first weight change if Fitch loses this fight to a fighter in Matendri Manganda, who doesn't have a particularly high amount of power, albeit he does have stamina and output. Fitch gets out-punched in the first round, wins the second round, does heavy damage. He does good damage start the 3rd, and then the comeback comes from Manganda. But he takes the reins in round 4, and now we're going to pile on pressure. I don't really have time to go to the body. I just want Fitch to try to win this fight, and this thing's getting crazy. We're going to go to natural style. Both fighters are damaged. And Fitch chases the win there. I was never that nervous. He never really felt behind. He was just damaged a little bit by the volume from Manganda, but Manganda doesn't have much game outside of the volume, and Fitch was able to find plenty of holes for his power shots, and Fitch has that comeback win he desired, and he is going to stay at middleweight for now. On Ervin, Steven Ervin versus Erland Guerin, we're going to try to unseat Erland Guerin from the heights of the ranked fighters. We get a knockdown early, but Guerin did so much good that they apparently say that he won the round after that. 20-5. We need to box better in the next round. We don't necessarily. What kind of advantages do we have on this dude? Pretty much all of them. I feel like boxing. I feel like a jab and move. I don't want to take too much damage, but he gives me damage anyway. We're going back to natural style. He's still piling it on. We're going to go to cover up. Just for 1 round. There we go. There we go. Sucker. Sucker to mid. Now we can try to pile it on. We'll natural style for 1 more round. He did so good. There, we get another knockdown, but apparently they're scoring all these rounds where we have knockdowns for Guerin, so I don't want to let this thing go to the scorecards. We still have energy. We're so close to getting a finish. I'm definitely doing go for broke. And we get the finish. That was the right decision. Steven Ervin chases down Erlen Guerin, who made things very, very hard for him. He kept knocking him down, and Guerin just kept getting up and just being annoying, being a menace. But after the 2 knockdowns, he finally chases him down, cuts him up a bunch, and stops and breaks his nose even. And Steve Ervin with his 20th professional win in the super middleweight division, and that was a fun event. Andy Fitch with a 10-week injury. Bad cut to his left eye. And it's Flores versus O'Malley, a big ranked challenge for David Flores to prove he is among the heavyweight elite here from the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Some fun fights on the undercard. A former stable hand in Eric Adabaka coming back to fight Thomas Young and Williams and Ron. Not a stable hand, what would it be? Stablemate. Stablemate would be the term. A stable hand is a horse racing term. Keenan Rocha. Or just a equestrian term. Not a boxing term. And it's Oscar Garcia versus Abdin Ali. A North Syracuse native. Big round for Ali there. That's good work from Garcia. Another good round from Garcia. We get to pile on pressure now. And that should be a win for Oscar Garcia, and it will be. Nicely, nicely done. Allison versus Putin. This might be a dangerous fight for Allison, and it's a big first round for Putin. I'm going to keep pronouncing it like that, Putin. I do not care. Even though it is probably Putin. He's losing this fight desperately. We need to pile on pressure and then go for broke. You pretty much have no other choice, and we're just getting dominated. I guess go for broke. I'm going to cut Allison. That's a cut performance right there. You just got 3-1 outpunched. 2 power punches in the fight. If you didn't want to fight for me, you could have just come up before the fight and said it. You didn't have to go out and do that. Confirm. Goodbye. What on earth, man? Terrible stuff right there. We'll give Garcia a new contract for not being awful. DeRocha versus Perez. Can DeRocha continue his knockout ways or his losing ways? So far, it looks more like his losing ways. There's a good round, a good third from DeRocha. We're going to go to the body now. Good work there. Natural style. Ooh, whoa. Big, big, big round from Perez there. DeRocha's got to back up. Oh, no. And now he gets knocked down, and this is suddenly a very close fight Keenan DeRocha has found himself in. We're obviously just going to pile on pressure. And we get stopped. Perez, that's another loss to Keenan DeRocha's record. As Keenan DeRocha just keeps losing. Again, sometimes there's fighters where you don't mind losses, but I mean, his ring IQ is falling. His chin is getting worse. His stamina is getting worse. He's 30. I don't mind keeping him around and just throwing him on undercards. You know, there needs to be guys in these divisions. Maybe a change up to featherweight should be on the cards here for DeRocha. It's a lot of losses. We haven't done a weight change yet. It says a weight change up would be bad. It says he can effectively move up 2 kilograms. That doesn't sound like that's enough for him to move up to featherweight. And it says there's a possible negative effect on pretty much everything of a weight change. A weight change down would have a positive effect on punch power. He's already a powerful puncher. And I don't really know if he can change weight down. My instinct would be to move him up to featherweight so he can fill out a little bit more and make more of that punching power. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But something clearly isn't going right here at super bantamweight. Maybe as a power punching fighter, he needs to lean more into his weight. It says that they more want us to change weight down though. He is only 5'4". 5'4", like, hold up. Let's look at the super bantamweight rankings. Maybe he is very undersized for this division. And it's incredible that maybe I'm about to change him the wrong way. Maybe he does need to go down. 5'3". He's about normal sized for this division. Most guys at super bantamweight are 5'3", 5'4". So he's completely normal sized for this division. He'd be undersized for featherweight. I mean, the featherweight, yeah, there's a 5'9" featherweight. Like, I don't even know what he would do with that. I don't want him fighting anybody that much bigger than him. And he'd definitely be, it looks like he'd be oversized for this division at 5'4". Yeah. The guy with most of the belts at Superfly is 4'11". So he'd definitely be oversized for super flyweight. We didn't even look at bantamweight here. Because this is what he would be going down to. How many 5'4" bantamweights even are there? It's such a spread out division though. There's 4 belts with 4 different fighters. Here's a 5'5" dude. But that's the tallest guy I've seen. There's 5'5". 5'5" with what reach? With a short reach though, right? We're talking a guy who's 5'5" with a long reach. He does seem like he would be too big for this weight class. 5'5", 73.3. You know what? I am going to move DeRocha down in weight. I'm going to do it. We haven't done a weight change yet. We're going to do it. We're going to change his weight down. Confirm down. Keenan DeRocha, bantamweight. Doesn't seem like anything changes. Conditioning might be a little lower, but he is now a bantamweight. Hopefully, he is not too big for the weight. But we'll see what happens. He's a pretty big bantamweight. It's going to be a tough weight cut, but he's going to be incredibly powerful. He was an incredibly powerful super bantamweight. I can't imagine how powerful of a super bantamweight he would be. All right, so there's our first weight change. How about that? And we're going to go one more week and then do this event. Rico Hartman versus Ed Monahan. Hartman, the far superior fighter to Monahan. Hartman way ahead. Nicely done. Good win by Rico. Thomas Young, can you take care of our former stablemate in Eric Devaka? It's a knockdown by Devaka. Devaka taking it out on his former stable, going, you want to give me an undefeated fighter? I'll show you what a real undefeated fighter looks like with my 10 losses. This is also a New York battle Subway Series right here, and Thomas Young is going to take it home. If this were the 2000 Subway Series, Thomas Young would be the New York Yankees. It's Jose Williams versus Carlos Ron. Carlos won. Carlos won. Carlos won. Take him out, Jose. Sick of this dude. Sick of this dude. There we go. I was genuinely sick of him. Glad he's gone. David Flores versus Michael O'Malley. This is going to be a fight. That's my analysis. O'Malley is like a slightly better version of Flores. He got one more win. He doesn't have the knockouts that Flores does. Flores landed some little power shots. O'Malley landing back. It is slightly better work from O'Malley here, as he wins that round pretty clean. Flores needs to provide volume, and it's O'Malley landing again. I'm starting to think about cover up already with the way that he's throwing at the start of these rounds. I just want to make sure Flores has something to work off of. I feel like we can catch O'Malley in a trap, kind of. There's some shots from Flores, as he seems to be taking control of the second round here. A third power punch. That's some really good work there from Flores, and a little scary that O'Malley isn't that damaged, because that was some really good work from Flores, and it didn't really seem to crack O'Malley too much. This could be a very long fight. These are two very stamina-heavy fighters, but it's O'Malley doing big damage here in round 3. And is he the bigger man? Because I have a little bit of an idea here. He's not. He's not. He's got ring IQ on us. We're going to jab and move. I was going to say smother inside, but instead I'm going to jab and move because we're bigger than him. But we're jabbing and moving, and he says, oh, I'm just going to tee off. Okay, cool. Great. And he is teeing off. And I am becoming concerned. We've got a minute to stop him from knocking us out. Flores starting to land some counter punches. O'Malley with blood coming from his nose. But it's O'Malley standing at the end of the round and throwing. And we are going to go on cover up. I just want him to chase us and get hit with a counter punch. He starts every round so much better than we do. We never start the rounds well. He is always coming out at the beginning of the round and landing punches, and we don't land back. Finally, we hit him with a shot here in the 5th round. No power punches in the round, though, in case you're just listening. We just hit him with a punch. And when I said shot, I just meant normal punch. And Flores still at a big disadvantage in this fight. We're going to have to go to the body at some point, which I'm dreading. O'Malley once again with a better start to the round, with higher volume. The first power punch. It's been such a slow round that he hasn't had a chance to get Flores anywhere near that TKO. And I'm going to go to the body here. Pretty even round, but that was probably our best round of the fight. We're going to pile on pressure here with the energy that we got left. This is a heavyweight fight. We can't waste any time. We need to provide offense here. We need to actually freaking initiate. And you can tell that we're trying to initiate because O'Malley isn't throwing at all this round. Which O'Malley had started every other round throwing. So now that we try to press some offense on him, now he's got something to think about. And we get a big shot in on him. Big power punch from Flores. That was the best round of the fight from Flores. And we're absolutely going for broke here with the energy we got left. Initiating offense in that last round worked, and we're going to try to initiate offense again here. And this time we get hit back for it. O'Malley finding his counter-punching rhythm and battering us. Outside chance he can end it here in the 9th with more big shots. He's really battering Flores here. Punishing Flores for that decision. I'm actually going to use the ring here, and the reason for that is that Flores is the bigger fighter. I don't want him to stick and move because we'll get hit back if we stick and move. Use the ring. I mean, you need to actually throw back. There we go. Okay, good. Cover up has more of a tendency to land counter punches, so that's probably what I'll use next time. Stay alive. Stay alive. Okay. Oh, that was the last round of the fight. Whatever. So it's a dominant win for Michael O'Malley. And Flores pretty much proves that he's not really a heavyweight contender there because, I mean, you're putting him up against the guy who's basically a slightly better version of him and he loses. I mean, I know that's really condemning, but it is what it is. It is what it is. He's got the loss to Cotrill. Maybe a rematch against Cotrill would be the right move right now. I think that would be just the thing for David Flores. I think another Cotrill-Flores fight is on the cards right now in 1 week. We're going to have even more fighters open up, so we're going to book that. I think that is just what the doctor ordered for the career of Mr. David Flores. This is a really bad title fight here for the WBA World Super Lightweight title. Leones will probably win it, but he's not the strongest champ anyway. Masso versus Salinas is going to be a good fight in a week's time. He versus Sonny Boy Tenpenny is also going to be in a week's time. So we'll watch those title fights before we do our event. Let me just very quickly before this title fight. You know what? No, I'm not going to book it. I'll wait a bit to book it because I can book Flores versus Cotrill whenever I want to. They're both my fighters. Lamont Williams, does he get an extension? He's on a winning streak. That Manzarias fight was fun. He's got a couple L's on his record. He's also definitely a fighter who we can move down in weight if he struggles. And he's got, I don't know, he actually doesn't have that much potential. But he could be he could have superpowers at super bantamweight if we move him down one day. Who knows? Could move him down now. I don't think so. Who's he got booked to fight? Nobody. Well, we'll see who he can fight. We'll see what the future holds. Frankie Edwards having that few fans at 15-1 should be some kind of crime. We'll give Max Rice a new contract. It's a shame that Max Rice has that cut tendency because he's the kind of fighter I'd like to be engaged in a lot of wars. So let's watch these title fights. Masso versus Salinas. You got to favor Masso here, who's been a incredible champion. I don't really know how he has any losses. He's a really good fighter. Let's, super welterweight Masso record. Yeah, he's got those 2 wins over Buffalo Daniel Scott. Do we follow him? We need to follow Daniel Scott. Masso has 2 wins over him, and those are his title wins. He's got a few losses in the sim, 2 losses before the sim. So he isn't really a 5-loss fighter. Think of him more like a 3-loss fighter. He's a very impressive super welterweight champion who could be undisputed one day, but that's a good first round by Hugo Salinas. And there's a 1-punch knockout by Luis Masso. Thank you for proving me right, Luis. That was a excellent result. Joshua Martinez Morales is a world bantamweight champion. This guy is a nasty fighter. He's only got 1 belt. He deserves more. He deserves more. Zubao He versus Sonny Boy Timpani. This should be a very good fight. China versus the Philippines. This one should be sick. And Zubao He, good first round. And a knockdown for Timpani in the second. A big knockdown there for Sonny Boy in the second round. As he's going to have to answer back. And a good third round from He. Timpani starts the 4th round good, but he hits back. Timpani, man, this thing's going back and forth as it's He in round 6. It says He has won most of the rounds, but this was a Timpani round, and who knows, you could give that one to him too. This fight could be close. This fight could be tied. He is for sure the favorite, and there, another good round from He, and He gets the finish in round number 8, and Zubao He is still the WBA, IBF, WBO featherweight champion of the world. Really great effort from him. That was an impressive fight. New middleweight champion in Francis Arrivo. What happened to this belt? I'm interested. And what happened to this middleweight belt? Middleweight. Arrivo's got one, Donnelly, and then Andrew Smith, who got it off Raskar Wid, apparently. Or just nobody. Okay, maybe somebody must have vacated or retired or something. Yeah, one of the champs retired and the belt split or something happened. There was that other fighter. I forget what his name was. I think it might have been, was it Christian Yuseinov? Yes, it was Christian Yuseinov. Christian Yuseinov went up to super middleweight. Glad we figured that one out quick. So yeah, Yuseinov beat Fitch and then moved up to super middleweight instead of unifying for some reason to make life harder for Stephen Ervin. But what that does mean for us, of course, is that the title picture in the middleweight division is a lot simpler, and we're a lot closer to having a championship belt because it's a lot more likely that there will be a weak middleweight champion, but the middleweight division is so strong. I mean, listen, both Andrew Smith and Francis Arrivo are both excellent fighters, so I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to them if the day ever comes that we fight them. But speaking of middleweights, we got more stuff to find out in the middleweight division today. It's Tony Seals. And we are officially going to give him his nickname. We're going to give him more takes punishment as well. And we're going to officially give him his nickname of the real deal. I know I'm stealing it from Evander Holyfield, but you know what? I'm allowed to steal real fighter nicknames. I don't care. Because he is very much the real deal. He's going to go prove it today. First, it's Eben Rodriguez versus the great Reyes. Oh, yeah. Eben Rodriguez, 3-0. Brian Mitchell. More work from Brian Mitchell, and there we go. Raymond Pena. Oh, yeah. Gabriel McCreary. Wins the first round. Loses round 2. Close round 3. Loss in round 4. Getting a little nervous for McCreary here against Flores. And there, he gets the knockout around 6. Nice. Nice little counterpunch work there from Gabriel McCreary to knock out Tommy Flores and add another win to his record in the welterweight division. And Gabriel McCreary keeping that comeback going after he lost that title shot. Fighting pretty far down the card here. But a nice comeback win after that disappointing loss to Michael Carl. He's got some really good wins on his record, man. Tony DeLuke. How did Tony DeLuke turn out to be? He's actually okay. But Stephen Fuda and Demetrius Johnson really stick out. Now Tommy Flores on the record for Gabriel McCreary, who continues to grind through the welterweight division. Where are my Gabriel McCreary fans? 81K is too loud. Fred Morales. People will understand Fred Morales. One day. He's got to fight right now against Alfredo Mamani. And this should be a dub. Good first round for Mamani, but we're still okay. There's a couple knockdowns in that round. And I'm just going to chase it at this point. Pile it on. He's really landing on us disappointingly. We're really pushing him up against the KO here, though. It's a third knockdown for Morales. Because we're just going to keep chasing success here. We're really winning this fight. We haven't got the finish yet. Sometimes in these lower weight classes, it takes a while. Fourth knockdown, man. Morales really brutalized Mamani there, but he got the win eventually. Look away. And Tony, the real deal Seals versus Zakhaber Zaruglian of Tbilisi, Georgia. Is it Tbilisi? Tbilisi? Dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know it's the capital of the country. It's a good second round from Seals. He's still damaged. Not a lot of work there from Zaruglian. Zaruglian. There we go. Okay, Zaruglian. We're going to cover up. Zaruglian is still coming after us. It's a risky go to the body, but screw it. I'm going to do it. It's just a slow round. I'm going to need Seals to provide some offense. This has been very disappointing. We're going to pile on pressure. Ooh, a knockdown. If you pile on pressure and get a knockdown, it completely turn this fight on its head, at least seemingly, because Seals has just done nothing so far. And we are going to keep the pressure piled on. And now, okay, so we're actually telling him to provide offense, and he is doing that. We're going to go for broke here. That was a bad decision. And we're going to pile on pressure and try to get a finish. And if not, I think Tony Seals has added a loss to his record. And honestly, a pretty crappy fight that's going to make me have to reassess his career here in the middleweight division. The first judge gives it to us. The second judge doesn't. And the third judge doesn't either. It's a split decision loss. I don't know what that first judge was smoking. We didn't win any rounds. You have to win rounds to win a fight. It wasn't necessarily a terrible performance from Seals, but Zaruglian showed something there. He's not a terrible fighter. He's not at all. And I think, really, we could have... stick and move is hard because he's bigger than us. But we still could have tried that. We could have tried something. We could have tried pressing the offense a little earlier. And that's a disappointing loss from Tony Seals. He's still got his regional belt. And we'll see how high-ranked of a contender he continues to be. But that wasn't a good loss. It's only a split decision. But we'll see how much they rank him down. And it's especially disappointing after the middleweight belt split. And we want our middleweights to be in the ascendancy. Randy Dale. I don't know why Randy Dale can't get any respect. I feel like Randy Dale is just a couple knockouts away from getting the respect that he's due. Because I think he actually could low-key. I've said this before. We go through all of this with all this stuff with middleweights. And Randy Dale is sort of seen as our fourth-string middleweight at the promotion. And he could eventually be the guy to come through and be that champion. Absolutely, that could happen. Raskar Witt is fighting for that world middleweight title. I think we might watch that fight next week. And then Soar versus Moreno. Soar should probably defend in that one, but it's for all them belts. And then Michael Carl's got a fight against Jared Cotrill. Two veteran welterweights. Two experienced veterans. Insanely hard to believe these guys have never fought. And it's insanely hard to believe that Jared Cotrill has never fought for a world title. I can't believe that. That's unbelievable. That's what the word unbelievable was invented for. Things you can't believe. And we're gonna go one more week. Oh, that's very disappointing, man. I'm really disappointed that we lost. I am really disappointed in that loss. He didn't throw punches. Seals just didn't show up. It's like in Football Manager, there's like that consistency stat, you know? The hidden consistency rating that the game doesn't show you. that you can find in the editor if you buy the editor. But otherwise, you can't see your player's consistency rating. I think consistency is a hidden stat. That could be a thing in this too. There's hidden stats on fighters. I often think that about this game. And Raskar Witt is taking it to the undefeated Andrew Smith. He wants to prove that he's the real middleweight champion, and he is the real middleweight champion. As Andrew Smith loses his undefeated record at the world title level, proving that this is absolutely, absolutely levels to this game of even at the top level, and Raskar Witt is once again a world middleweight champion. So let's see. Where's Raskar Witt? He is... So Tony Seals has beaten Raskar Witt. So we've now at least beaten a world champion. We might not have won a belt, but we've beaten a world champion. Tony Seals is a lot further away, I think, from having to ask that question of a weight change, but he could definitely fit at super welterweight. He is a little big. He's really a middleweight. But, you know, Raskar Witt, he beat him already. And I think if we won that last fight, it would have much better set us up, but we didn't win. And Raskar Witt wants to give us the shot anyway. Coming off a loss. Okay. Number 5 fighter in the world. Beyond that. Now we've got a few guys from inside the top 50. Henry Tafer also wants to fight us, but you guys are screaming at me to take the Witt fight, because, I mean, why wouldn't we? We already beat him. We've already done it. We've already beat him before. And I think Seals is better than Witt. I don't think Witt is that good. He's got a low takes punishment. He's an incredible boxer, but he doesn't take punishment well. And we're just putting this thing straight in Dignity Health Sports Park, baby. Tony Seals versus Raskar Witt, a 2. They're running that thing back. They're doing it again. And Flores versus Lessman. Why does Hans Lessman want to match up David Flores off a loss? I think it's kind of realistic. He doesn't. They don't want to make the fight. Okay, that's way more understandable. Johnny Mortson is ranked by a few belt organizations and isn't very good. Didn't Flores just fight and lose? Why am I booking him a fight right now? Yeah, his fitness is 14. Uh-oh, and Seals' fitness is 10. That might have been a mistake. Well, gameplay advice. We might go 0-4 in championship fights because Tony the Real Deal Seals is exhausted right now after taking a loss, and that's probably part of the reason why Raskar Witt wanted to fight us. I think we just walked into a trap, pretty much. So we need to wait on David Flores as well to book a fight for David Flores because he's also injured. So it looks like Fred Morales... Well, Flores was going to fight Cotrill. That was going to be the fight, right? Can I make that fight? I mean, that seems like the natural fight for him right now. Where is Ricardo Cotrill? I do not see him. Maybe the game just won't let us. Let's see. Ricardo Cotrill. Okay, I see. So it's a matter of Cotrill apparently being ranked too low and not being able to fight fighters as high ranked as Flores. Does Cotrill have his fitness? Because is he coming off a loss? He is coming off a loss. He isn't fit yet. So, yeah. So, look, that sucks. Because I think Seals isn't going to be fit by the time his fight comes around. And Raskar Witt is at 100% bill of health. He just knocked a guy out. So that was probably not a very smart decision to just book that fight. But let's book some stuff on the undercard. And we'll book Fred Morales a main event here. Against a really talented fighter in Jose Antonio Gomez. To make the fans less mad about the fact that we just... threw away Tony Seals' title hopes, probably. Got him out here limping into the ring against the Raskar Witt, fresh off a knockout, 5 weeks off KOing a dude. Not a great idea. Flores can't fight now. We just knew that. Cotrill is ready to go though. Ferguson. Well, he'll be ready in 6 weeks. Garrett Bay. We can get him back to winning ways against Garrett Bay. I mean, he might get knocked out, but probably not. We could feed him to Dimash Cernoi, but that's just an act of cruelty. Lamont Williams, more clear-cut choices here, just top 50 guys. We'll put that. You know, let's put that on the. Nah, there might be a better fight that comes up. I don't want to put that on the Witt undercard. Darius Mitchell, Mitchell can fight Fuda. That's a pretty good fight for Mitchell. We keep beating Stefan Fuda. We really like beating him. He's fun to just put on cards and win against. So we'll put Darius Mitchell versus Stefan Fuda on the undercard there. Edwards can fight the African champion. He can fight the Japanese champion, or the Asian champion. Chamuang Sith Naruapol from Thailand. But Kato, the Asian champion, he's ranked 57th. Here, Orlandi is ranked 30th. I kind of like just taking the best fights with Frankie Edwards. We're going to do this. We're going to do Orlandi top 30 matchup here. Put that on the WID undercard. Kareem Ramos versus Nick Robles. Edwards. Lamar Berlanga. And this Anthony Rios fight should be good. Raul Galarza. That is a tough cruiserweight right there. Isaac Imam is ranked. He's pretty good, though, for all those losses on his record. Diaz, the South American champion, ranked 35th. Probably better than us. Uwe Gutel from Germany. This is the fight we got to make right here. A couple big cruiserweights. That's a fun one. That's going to be... That is such a... It's so far down this undercard, but it's such an insanely good fight. That fight should really be a lot later on the card. I don't know why, like, Ricardo Cotrill versus Garrett Bay is way above Rios versus Gutel here, which is a really high level cruiserweight fight. Seals with us 6 fights. Miles Goins, and then wait, how many? Just see. Let's just see. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can book 6 fights here, and I would take Flores too. So I don't necessarily want to do that. Let's just watch this fight. I am mad that I got excited and booked that Seals WID fight. Seals versus WID 2 while Seals wasn't healthy. But whatever, I mean, worst case, right? It just goes 1-1. But I think Seals would probably rank so far down. It's just Moreno is that you might not get a third fight is what I'm about to say. Moreno putting up a good fight against Soar, but Soar... Yeah, Soar is taking the reins here. Round 11. Gets the stoppage. And Soar is still the undisputed world bantamweight champion. We've got Carl versus Kotzer. Oh, that's in a while, actually. There aren't any championship fights for a while, so we've got a little break, a little lull in the game world. Let's check on Tony Seals' fitness here. How much he's gained back. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, he's not going to be ready for the WID fight. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Can I get his fitness up? How do I... If I do this, will it raise his fitness? Is there any kind of positive to fitness, though? It says we've got positives to stamina and fitness from doing conditioning. And very positive fitness from doing conditioning. And then it says negative punch power, I think. So we'll pull back on, oh, it might be punishment, I don't know. What would we want to pull back? Let's just pull back on Ringcraft. Screw it. Pull back on Ringcraft. Safe plan. And then we'll change it after the fight. But that's my only plan, just to try to get his fitness better. I've got no other ideas on how to do that. And it's time for Michael Carr versus Jared Cotrill. Let's check on Tony Seals again. He's up at 38, so that might be doing a little something. I mean, I really don't think he's going to be ready, though. Oh, we got one more week before this fight. Do we have enough fights on... Oh, wait. Do we have enough fights to create this show now? This Max Rice show? It looks like we do. So let's put on Rice versus Polanco. This is going to be... Oh, wait, was it versus Polanco? How about Chong? That's also a fun fight. There's a lot of fun fights for Rice, as there always are. I feel like he might have already fought Richie Mulligan. Let's do Yut or Polanco. He might get KO'd by this dude, but we'll see what happens. That's why we have the fights. That's why you have the fights, so that we can see if he gets KO'd or not. That's what the point of the fight is. Max Rice headlining a fight in a big arena. Let's see how it sells. David Flores. Way down our list of fighters now. Fitness only at 34, so we're going to keep him out. I really hate that Seals is fighting. I hate that I made that mistake. It's a bad mistake. Don't make that mistake. I probably just got my fighter knocked out. Randy Dale. Let's give him a decent platform here. I want him somebody. Give him somebody who can put on a show against. Esteban Campos is undefeated, and I think he can beat him, so that's a good... No, not as the main event. Nope. Sigh. All shows. Rice versus Polanco. Dale versus Campos. Nice. Raymond Pena. Let's give him an easy win with Oscar Munoz here. Brian Mitchell, who's brand new but already seems to be pretty popular. Jonathan Saavedra. That'd be an entertaining fight. Omar Agatone. I don't know. Let's do Jonathan Saavedra. Screw it. Let's give Mitchell a challenge. If he's so popular, let's see if he's got it. Goodwill Sweetnam has a great name. And we're going to put him up against Rodriguez. Soto, again, maybe the most impressive prospect we've had at the promotion. It'd be a crazy loss to Jeff Sheary if he doesn't win it, but Sheary can punch. He's got no takes punishment, though. I expect this one to be over pretty quick. Oscar Garcia. Thought I saw somebody higher ranked there. Maybe my mind's playing tricks on me. We've got 6 fights on this card already. It's just Garcia. What was his loss? What was Garcia's loss? Just so I can see if he needs a challenge or not. Realistically, I don't care. Let's just keep. I can't tell from that. I honestly can't glean anything from what I just saw. I don't remember that fight. Let's put him up against this dude. Fine. See what happens. Keenan DeRocha. His first fight at bantamweight. Should we give him like a... It's interesting. It's his first fight at bantamweight. It's at the bottom of the card. What kind of challenge do we want to give him here at this new weight class? He's got pretty much a longer reach and better punch accuracy than everybody, which is encouraging to see. So let's just go with Enrique Dutchover because that's the best fighter we can fight. And the highest ranked fighter we can fight. So there we go. That event's all scheduled up, and we're going to go to Carl versus Kotzer. And I can't believe we haven't watched Kotzer in a title fight. I can't believe Kotzer hasn't been in a title fight. But it's going to be against Michael Carl, who knocked out was it Jermaine Ramos? It was Jermaine Ramos, correct? It was Gabriel McCreary. I am high and insane and stupid. Who knocked out Gabriel McCreary in his welterweight title fight. I can't even remember our fighters who fought for titles. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're 0-3. Why would I remember them? If they lose in a title fight, why would I remember them? Let's see who will be remembered and who everyone will forget. Oh, you lost to the Champ Magazine WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO World Welterweight title fight on Saturday, September 9th, 2028, between Michael Carl from Aquagana and Jared Goetz of Durban, Saudi Arabia. Oh, you lost that fight? Oh, you suck. Everyone will forget you were ever born. Garbage. As right now, Jared Coates are proving that we should have seen him in a title fight. And look at that! Michael Carl, the Magic Man, pulling the magic out of the bag and stopping Kotzer out of nowhere. That one takes punishment from Kotzer. Well, he fought in a title fight. We got to see it. We got to see it happen. Didn't quite go the way we thought, as Reggie Quebec is facing a challenge from a Mexican fighter who, if he did not have 5 takes punishment, would be the best fighter on the planet. He's all of 4'11", 63. This guy is incredible. He's a super flyweight, which, like, again, super flyweight, like, you could be like 5'6", 5'7" at super flyweight, 5'8" even. I think in real life there's 5'9", 5'10" super flyweights. They're thin, but they exist. This guy's 4'11" at super flyweight with the shortest reach I think I've seen this playthrough. 63.7-inch reach with only 14 punching power, but the rest of the tools are just so sick. The rest of his game is just so top level. Martin Castro from Mexico, the current North American super flyweight champion. I don't doubt it. 23 years old. Going to be special almost no matter what, but he's got to take his first title from Reggie Quebec. And I'm watching this because I think Martin Castro is a special fighter. I just said if the take punishment was better, he'd be the best fighter in the world. And he is punishing Reggie Quebec right now. He's getting some damage back the other way. This is a good fight. And Quebec has no answer for Castro in that round. And it's a crazy duel of a round there in round 6. But there, now Quebec is out of energy, and Castro is going to be able to work for the next 3 rounds. And Castro just piling it on. Quebec clinging on for dear life. That's a nice round from him to take a round win there, but he's not winning this fight. And there's a big knockdown just to accentuate things. And if you had any doubt before that Quebec did enough to defend his title, he didn't. Castro just won that fight by 12 points. He came in at 17-0 into the world champion's house and won by 12 points as a 23-year-old. Castro is an incredible fighter. You should expect a lot more out of him at super flyweight. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Morales versus Castro? I think that just became the big hypothetical future fight for me at least. Where are our rankings here? I think that very much just became the hypothetical super fight. U.S. versus Mexico, Morales versus Castro. But CR20 takes punishment. It's ring IQ versus takes punishment. That's really what it's going to be. But also, Morales is a lot bigger, which is crazy to say about a guy who's 5'1", but he's a lot bigger than Martin Castro. Martin Castro is just a little firecracker, man. 4'11" of pure seething hate. Pure seething rage. Fire and gasoline running through his veins. What an insane fighter, and what a win there for Michael Carl to keep his belts also. He's still undisputed, correct? Yes, he is. He is still undisputed. Gabriel McCreary needs a contract. Maybe he'll give McCreary a re-up. Maybe he'll give McCreary another shot. It wasn't the most impressive win for McCreary over Tommy Flores. But just out of morbid curiosity, if Michael Carl is even available. McCreary can fight Ling, who fought Carl twice, but he can't fight Carl. That makes a lot of sense. Oh man, am I glad I did not keep recording. We lost the undercard to this event. Somebody just lost. It was Darius Mitchell. Darius Mitchell had a tough unanimous decision loss to Stephen Fuda in a fight that I didn't necessarily think he lost. He won, I think, maybe even 7 of the 10 rounds. It was just that I think Fuda he never knocked him down, but in this game, rounds with a big punch discrepancy can be counted as 10-8, and Fuda ended up with 3 of those. He had 3 rounds where he basically just completely ran our shit, and the judges gave him those 3 rounds 10-8, and he won the fight by a decently wide decision. I kind of disagree with it, but Mitchell got badly outstruck in the fight also, like something like 125-90, if I'm remembering correctly. But OBS wasn't recording, so I didn't catch it. Fortunately, we are here for the title fight, Tony Seals versus Rastgar Wid. All we have to do to win our first title is beat someone we have already beaten before. This is as close as we have been. It is time for the main event of the evening for the IBF Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, hailing from New Brunswick, New Jersey. His professional record, 23 wins, 2 losses, 1 defeat, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting in his first world title fight, Tony the Real Deal Seals. And introducing to you now, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Uppsala, Sweden. His professional record, 42 wins, 5 losses, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former middleweight champion of the world and the current IBF World Middleweight title holder, Rastgar Win. Oh, yeah. And here we go. Round 1. Once again, all we got to do is beat someone we beat before. Here comes Tony Seals. Can he get us a belt? Wid has some things to say about that. Good power punching from Wid to start. Here comes Seals. Big damage. Wid doesn't like it. Can Seals finish in the first round? We know Wid doesn't take damage well. We know Wid doesn't take punishment well. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted to try to get Wid out of there right now. I'm really tempted to just pile on pressure. I want to. Let's see if he makes us pay for it. Seals is going to chase him. Seals has great hands. So does Wid. They're 2 excellent punchers. Wid is taking punishment. Not enough for my liking. There's a power shot back. Seals backs him up. Wobbles him. It's not enough. It's a good round for Wid. Responds well to the pressure. Let's go back on natural style. Good start to the round from Seals. Like to see that, but it's Wid right back. Seals connecting. More big damage, but he's taking big damage back. Wid doing good work. Landing more. Controlling the round. And that is a Rastgar Wid round. And Seals, it's going to be his special. He's going to go to the body. He's going to use that accuracy. Let's see if he can get in there. He's taking damage. We don't want to see Wid tee off here. He might not have enough time to get a finish. But we are not doing what I wanted us to do in this fight so far. Rastgar Wid is ahead. We're 1 punch away from changing our fates. Let's put Seals back on natural style. Let him show off his talent, but it's still Wid landing. But Seals has ring control now, but Wid is landing more shots. He's really damaging us. He might get the finish here. This might be it. I mean, we might just be cursed in title fights, man. He's rocking our shit. We have nothing to say to him at all. This is embarrassing by Tony Seals. I'm sorry. This is I don't know what's happening to us in title fights. We're just not showing up in title fights. We're just not showing up. I don't know what Tony Seals is doing. I don't know where all that punch accuracy went. I don't know where all the volume went. I don't know where all the talent went. There we go. Finally. On cover up, he starts landing. In desperation. We need a break. We need him to lay off with the volume and the fucking power shots. Oh my God. He's brutalizing us. I mean, jab and move. He's just going to find our head and knock it right off, right? I really don't know what to do. We haven't tried jab and move. That's how I would describe it. His defensive skills are worse than ours. Let's just try it. We start on 73% damage. He's going to knock us out. He's going to finish us. He's too accurate. We don't have the defense to... We have 20 defense, and even then I doubt it's enough to stop that. He's going to come after us. Emphasize the move. No, he's still hitting us. This fight's going to get called. It's not called yet. I'm almost like go for broke here. He's just destroying us. It's like we don't belong in the ring with him. It's like no matter what I clicked, he would just dog walk us. There's no... What I don't know what to do. Do we look for KO? We've got giant power. No, we don't. Never mind. We have the same power he does. His punch accuracy is just somehow negating ours. I feel like I have to cover up. We're so close to being stopped. I just don't know what to do. Natural style. Tony Seals needs to fight is what he needs to do. Tony Seals needs to stop sucking. And he's just letting Raskar Wid beat him up. That is what this fight has been. This has been Tony Seals allowing a superior fighter to beat the shit out of him. I hope you're entertained. It's a disgusting effort from Tony Seals. I borderline want to cut him from the fucking promotion. I'm actually mad. You can hear it. I'm saying the F word. I'm actually pissed off. Go for broke. Use that last 5%. That was the last 5% right there. Those 4 punches. That's all he had in him today. There we go. Finally. Something. He gets abused for it, but something. He's lost his 10th round in a row now, I think. I mean, we can try to smother inside. He's got more energy than us. We could just keep going for broke. We could cover up. I'm going to try to smother inside and just not get KO'd. Wear him down. Clinch a little bit. I got nothing better. No, he's just wailing on us. Oh, no. I mean, that's what happened the whole fight. How you say, oh, you shouldn't have smothered inside. That's what happened in every other round. We just got beat the fuck up. We just got destroyed by Raskar Wid. And now I'm actually starting to get worried about this save. Because now it's at a point where I'm like, not only do we not seem capable of coming through at championship level, like, I feel like our other title fights are now worse in comparison. I mean, Andy Fitch put up some fights in title fights. Raskar Wid, I mean, that's a fighter you've beaten before, and you just went out on the biggest stage of your career and laid the biggest egg. I mean, Tony Seals had nothing in that fight. Nothing. Nothing. Just didn't show up at all. Might as well have stayed in bed. He, like, back-to-back losses. He got completely embarrassed. I could say, oh, let's build him back up again, but I'm not gonna be confident in him in his next title fight, am I? The next time he's up on that stage, I'm gonna be like, oh, what's he gonna do? Man, that was depressing. That was bleak. That was a horrible performance from Tony Seals. Man, Raskar Wid, and still, huh? You think Raskar Wid's still the champion? Let's take our minds off this with Kapachev versus Gomez. I mean, I don't. Round 1. Show me something that isn't whatever I just watched. That's more punches than Seals threw in any round. In that embarrassment of a display. Ooh, Gomez, KO and new. Takes Kapachev's belt right off him. New super middleweight world champion. Emerson Gomez. How about that? Walter da Silva of Brazil, who knocked out Marcos Cruz for the WBA belt, is now going to fight Mr. Adam Lovett for every other belt in question. This is an undisputed light heavyweight title fight. And the Champ magazine. Everybody agrees. This is the big one. Look at the size on Walter da Silva. 6'5", 84.8, light heavyweight. This is a fascinating fight. Let's watch this one on fast. I have a feeling this is actually going to be a good title fight, unlike that one we just watched. So let's watch this one on fast. Da Silva with a knockdown in that round, but Lovett gets up. Da Silva taking more damage, but probably ahead in the fight. Interesting fight so far. Oh, man. This thing close. It's not going to decision. This fight is not going to a decision. I will tell you that much right now. I would put a significant amount of money on this fight not going to decision. I would bet my bottom dollar. Love it, continuing to go after him. Da Silva with landing some. Da Silva continuing to throw. Da Silva continuing to throw. And look at all this work from De Silva. On top of his knockdown. And this is still such a close fight, man. Love it. Now piling on. First really consistent work I've seen from Lovett in a while, but De Silva delivers back. Probably still a Lovett round. No, maybe not. De Silva. Damaged De Silva. With a cut under his right eye. Taken the last 2 rounds. Well, he also has the knockdown round. This is a very close fight. I said this was going to be an entertaining one. And so far, that has proven to be so. Love it landing back at De Silva, but that's a De Silva round for sure. And De Silva with a strong start. Still even. Love it. Big jabs. Those are 1-2. Good work from De Silva. Love it. Big shots. De Silva back. And De Silva into the lead. Love it starts this round good. They are just going to war, huh? As it's Love it doing all the work here on no battery. 12 punches to 0 there until De Silva. There was a few at the end of the round, but De Silva's the fighter with 7% energy left. Love it 0. I said this fight wasn't going to go to decision. It might now, and I do not envy the judges. With how much damage was being done at the beginning of the fight, I might have just stopped paying attention if I was a judge. Now Lovett's got De Silva on the ropes after a round of good work. And now it's up to De Silva, who just had all of his energy drained. I would not be happy if I was in his corner. He had the fight pretty much tied, or he was ahead in it. And now Lovett is probably taking the lead back with those last 2 rounds, despite being the only fighter to be knocked down so far. And De Silva's the more damaged fighter. Lovett's got to keep doing work, and he can get the finish here. Oh, but De Silva starts throwing punches, makes this thing a fight. We've now got an even round 11. De Silva no longer really that close to the finish. Lovett could land a couple big shots and make it more of a case. But I don't think it's going to happen. He gets him up to 89. And maybe even won the round. So who will win this last round? It's going to go a long way in determining who will win this fight. De Silva, the only one who could get knocked out here. So Lovett needs to push on the gas pedal. And we'll see how De Silva can respond. But De Silva also, for the sake of the judges, he probably needs to win a round here. And now, providing some smart offense there at the end of the round. Lovett throwing back. Tough fight to score. And they're going to give it to, is that and new or and still? Either way, it's Adam Lovett, the undisputed light heavyweight champion. I'm going to say and still. And he got the knockdown, and more importantly, he did a great job closing there. Did a really fantastic job closing that fight. I'm still mad about Tony Seals. That did nothing. We've got a James Ray fight. 41-0 for the IBF and the WBO against Mohammed Townsend of Crewe, England. Mohammed Townsend absolutely sounds like a British fighter. Versus James Ray, who also sounds like a British fighter, but isn't. He's from Boston. Whoops. And can James Ray improve to 42-0? Mohammed Townsend is a pretty good challenge. Good aggression and good punch accuracy. We'll see if James Ray can catch him with a big shot. First round of the world heavyweight title. Look at James Ray there. James Ray with a huge first round. Townsend with 2 big cuts. James Ray is a menace, man. No problem. This is light work. This guy's fantastic. James Ray, 42-0. Untouchable. Heavyweight champion of the world. If you have anyone else as your number 1 pound for pound, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who would be. I don't think Yusupov's better. Some people might. I don't think he's better. Gilberto Gomez is the obvious number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. And it's one of those things where it's like with Inoue. Whenever anyone sees Inoue fight in real life, like he's the number one pound for pound fighter, duh. And they say that about Crawford too. Whenever he has an impressive win, oh, he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Canelo, same thing, number one pound. But like, bro, nah. Let's be real. It's James Ray, 42-0, 42-0, undefeated heavyweight champion. What a fighter. Pound for pound. Let's see. It is Gomez. James Ray's number 4 apparently. Michael Carl up there with 6 losses. Well, let's see. He might not have many losses in the sim. He definitely doesn't. And 2 weight classes. Not sure if he was a 2-weight. He is a 2-weight world champion also as well. Ah, Soar, of course. Yeah, Gomez, Soar. Could Gomez and Soar fight each other? No. No. Which one of these guys could fight? Yusupov and Carl could fight. Have they? Have Yusupov and Carl fought? No. Yusupov's always been at Super Welter. Yeah, I wonder which of these guys could actually end up meeting. Allen and Imai. I mean, my dream matchup right now is Castro versus Morales. That's the fight that I really want, man. Castro versus Morales would be so good. I would schedule that fight tomorrow, tonight, and yesterday. I want that fight so bad. All right, Dimash Sarnoy just got 1 punch KO'd. 90-inch reach doing you a lot of good. I mean, it's a 6'8" guy. You want entertainment, man. You got a 6'10" dude versus a 6'8" dude, and the 6'8" dude just walks out to the middle of the ring and KOs the 6'10" dude in 1 punch. That's why they invented boxing. That fight. How can I be mad? I remember what I said at the beginning when we signed him. Dimash Sarnoy was going to take some losses. His chin is already cracked. That sucks. He's got 6 KOs, though. You know what, man? It's the heavyweight division. Listen, if you get a guy with a long enough reach and you're careful enough with him, you just keep grinding. I mean, David Flores is living proof. He's had some tough losses. But he's still got some contender status. He's still got some respect in this division. The heavyweight division is a long, hard road, man. It's the hardest division in boxing in so many different ways. And by hardest, I mean it's the easiest to get unlucky in. Boxing is a sport where your legacy really is determined in a lot of ways by luck. You know? I think it's very telling that, like, you have to have an image sort of like, wow, look at that. These cruiserweight fights are always crazy. These cruiserweight fights are always nuts. What do we even do here? I'm going to cover up for this round so we don't die. What great work from Anthony Rios. What a win there from Rios. That fight went by in a blink. I should have done that fight on fast instead of fastest. It's too deep on the card for being as good of a fight as that was. But another classic of a win for Anthony Rios. Borderline, I think, when I actually think about the fights that he's had. In fact, I'm going to go out and say it. Because low-key, at this point, his 21-1-1 record is the best at the promotion. There's nobody with a record that decorated at the promotion other than Anthony Rios, and he continues to be slept on. I wish he had... he does have... No, that's punch accuracy. I wish he had the punch power to move up to heavyweight. But I would not do that. I don't think that's smart. And he's too big to move down to light heavy. He'd be a gigantic light heavyweight, though. He'd be a lot of trouble at light heavyweight. But, he'd have trouble making the weight. It'd probably not be good for a lot of his skills. But, I mean, see? All the other records. Steele has 3 losses. Ervin's 22-1 is pretty impressive, but that's not... 16-0 is pretty good, too. But I'd say everybody here, 21-1-1 is the most impressive record to me, Anthony Rios, and it's so many high-class wins. He's just going through everybody in the division. I mean, Anthony Rios, again, I'm sort of learning maybe be a little more careful with guys in their title shots, but I want to give Anthony Rios a title shot. I really do. I want to give Anthony Rios a title shot. You got to think he deserves it. Crazy how deep down on the card he was fighting there, but that was just a scheduling coincidence. Let's see how quickly Edwards can get the finish. My guess is quickly. There we go. Jose. I did Lamont Williams versus Gilberto Cuevas. Gilberto Cuevas should be some strong opposition. Not so far, however. Lamont continuing to work. Piling on the pressure. Natural styling. Wow. Okay. So Cuevas had a huge round there after Williams dominated literally the entire fight. Cuevas has his best round of the fight. 5 power punches, 18 scoring punches. He had nowhere near that much work at any other point in the fight. And then Lamont Williams goes, oh, wait a minute. Does a 1-2 and knocks him out. 8th round KO for Lamont Williams. Didn't take too kindly to him trying to impose any will against him. And Lamont Williams' record improves to 18-2, I believe. Cotrill versus Garrett Bay. Great first round from Cotrill. Bay. Good round from Bay, but he's taking the heavier damage. I'm going to keep going to the body. I want to get in. Natural style. Yes, sir. Keep working. Keep grinding. Oh, no. Can we pile it on, please? What is that? Natural style. Just chill. Just chill. There we go. And now pile it on. And now pile it on. Yes, sir. Ricardo Cotrill. That should have been a little more routine, but he got it done. Ricardo Cotrill always has been a little bit of a tactical heavyweight, and this should be a very good fight. Fred Flores. Fred Morales. Trying to keep his undefeated record against Jose Antonio Gomez, the Florida man. I have title aspirations and title dreams for our best undefeated fighter here, and I will be mad if he loses. Loses? First round knockdown. Took 54 seconds. Are we out of here in a hurry? Yes, sir, we are. Jose Antonio Gomez has nothing to say of Fred Morales. I'm worried about the fast track now. In under a minute. This is the super flyweight division. This isn't heavyweight. That is impressive. This is a beast of a fighter. If you guys didn't already know. I mean, you guys did already know. I said it the second I signed him. But look at the round 1 KOs even. Just a beast. Just an absolute beast. 94% knockout ratio. 4.5 rounds per fight. This guy is dangerous, man. This is a dangerous super flyweight. That is a contender. I'm sorry. I don't care what you tell me. That's a contender. And Kwane has everything but the WBO, which is held by Martin Castro. So there is not an easy way to a belt in this division. And Kwane is by far the easier one, actually, with all 4. And I think Martin Castro should be calling him out immediately, trying to win those other belts, because he probably would in a head-to-head matchup. And Kwane does have a lot of holes in his game. Very weak chin. Which is not a good thing in a division where they throw a lot of punches down at super flyweight. Max Rice versus Yadar Polanco at the good old Dignity Health Sports Park. I can't imagine that fight is going to sell out. That's a huge arena for Max Rice. Imai versus Beckford. You've got a decent chance here that Beckford can pull off the upset. Mosquera versus Luna. Why does Max Rice versus Polanco have 2 stars on it? This isn't for anything. This is not for a belt. Man, I don't even like saying the word belt. I'm still mad about Tony Seals. I mean, you know what? I mean, it probably was about the fitness. We said earlier in the episode. I can't believe I didn't think of that till now. I was just so disgusted by the effort, man. I was so disgusted by the effort. And also it said he had 100 fitness. But the effort was just bad, man. That was a bad fight. I hope he gets another shot at the strap eventually. That was only for 1 belt. It's hard for me to imagine that he'll never get invited back to fight for a title again if he keeps making progress. But, man, that was a dreadful effort. We should have waited longer. If they give Seals another title fight opportunity, I wouldn't even be surprised because he's proven such an easy out in his previous title fights. Why not take another win? I'm not taking it. If they offer Seals a title fight, I'm not taking it. We need to build him back up again and decide if we want to change his weight. Like, this is boxing manager. That's my job. Build my fighter back up again and see what his actual weight should be so I can get the best performance out of him I can. And Imai is taking it too. Beckford is getting his ass whooped. Beckford's wife left like 3 rounds ago. She doesn't want to look. This is a one-sided ass whooping. That was that. I cannot believe Beckford made the bell. Was your goal to make the bell? Because, like, unless the lead up to that fight was like Rocky, where he was just supposed to get brutalized. Oh my God. Look at those scores. I mean, it was. He was a massive underdog. He was supposed to just get knocked out. So I guess on some level, Beckford is proud of himself that he just made the final bell. And he's going to brag to people, hey, I made the final bell against Takeshi Umai. He's not a great puncher. He's smart, and he's got a good chin. That's actually about it. So yeah, it's impressive that he got here. He's clearly a warrior. Yeah, it's a lot of points decisions. It's a lot of fights against guys with a lot of losses. It kind of lucky that he ended up here in this fight and this payday. But I've never seen scorecards that wide. 120 to 103. Imai won the fight by 17 rounds. There's only 12 rounds in a fight, and he won it by 17 rounds. Take that for what you will. 213 punches to 79, 24 to 8, pretty much 3-1 him. And 2 knockdowns. And Takeshi Imai, to the surprise of absolutely no one, is still the world super featherweight title holder. I should have put $1 million on that and made about 5. Not 5 million, $5. That's how likely it was Imai was to win that freaking fight. That was never going to go any other way, was it? First fight of the night, Kenan DeRocha, his first fight at bantamweight against Enrique Dutchover, our first fight in a new weight class. Our first time changing a fighter's weight. Will DeRocha's power carry over? Dutchover's feeling it already. Good round from Dutchover there. Even things up. Good work from Dutchover there as well. DeRocha's never been a cover-up guy. Good aggression. I don't know about pile-on pressure. Let's just box for one more round. He's still brutalizing us. I'm going to cover up just for one round. Nice work from DeRocha on cover up. We're definitely piling on pressure now. But this is a crazy fight with a lot of damage being done. We're going to natural style it. Let's see if... And we get the finish. Nice. That was a crazy fight. But DeRocha, that's a classic DeRocha fight. It seems like almost nothing has changed here at this new weight class. It's just war after war after war for Kenan. And that's why we keep him. And I'll tell you what, that's a big win for the old record. 15-6 looks a lot better than 14-7. That is a big win for the record, and I mean that. I think if he lost that fight, I would have considered him cutting him a lot more seriously. It's also worth noting, I think we're going to have a lot more chances to stick and move with Kenan now, which I think fits him a little better, jabbing and moving. That's just better to do with taller fighters who have the range, and he's a lot bigger at bantamweight. Speaking of bantamweight, Roger Mosquera, 36-0. We've watched him fight many times, taking on a new challenger in Galvez Luna from Colombia. Maybe not a new challenger? No, it is a new challenger. He's the WBA champion. He knocked out Rodrigo Lemos, who we also watched fight several times for that WBA belt. And now he's going to take on Mosquera for the WBC belt. This is a unification bout in the bantamweight division. A round 1. Go. Good round 1 from Galvez Luna, the challenger. And it's a competitive round 2, but Mosquera, the more damaged fighter, the undefeated fighter, he gets a flash knockdown up at the count of 1. But oh boy, Mosquera, the undefeated Colombian, in trouble. I just realized both these guys are Colombian. I didn't see that. For some reason, I thought Luna was from, I don't know where I thought he was from. They're both from Colombia. Okay. So they're both from the same town. This is the Battle of Bogota between Mosquera and Luna. And it looks like the kid from the other side of the tracks, or who knows, maybe even the same neighborhood, is about to knock out his countryman, his fellow Bogota native. Could he take his 0? What a classic boxing moment that would be. The YouTube videos that will be made for years on boxing YouTube about that. But it's a knockdown back from Mosquera. Desperately trying to defend his undefeated record here. 9% left in the tank. What can he do with it? He can provide a big round, but he can't knock Luna out. Can he do more work and get the finish? He's going to be chasing it, but it's a big round from Luna. Mosquera still got damage on him. It's an even round in round 9. This is a close fight here. And Mosquera has 0% energy now to defend his undefeated record, and it's a big round from Luna, who may be taking the lead on the cards. Is it going to be enough to avoid that dreaded draw against an undefeated fighter? That may have been a round win for Mosquera there, who outpunches, and it's getting even more interesting now, because you know those judges are just going to want to justify any little way to give this to Galvez Luna. To Roger Mosquera, and maintain his undefeated 36-0 record. It's going to take a lot from Luna, especially after that knockdown from Mosquera. We're going to put it on fast. I don't want it to go by too quickly. I want to be able to read the scorecards and see what happens. I am very invested in this. And it's excellent work from Luna trying to finish here. He's being merciless here in the final round. Mosquera needs to find some offense and try to convince the judges. And Luna bags the last round, and is it enough to be the new champion? 115-109, 115-110, 116-110, all for the winner and new WBC, WBA Bantamweight Champion of the World, Galvez Luna. Oh yeah. Wonderful stuff there from Galvez Luna. Upsetting his countrymen, upsetting the undefeated WBC champion of the world, Roger Mosquera. And it's another top-level undefeated fighter down. I think we've wondered before aloud how Mosquera managed that undefeated record with his porous defense. Well, now he doesn't have his undefeated record. And there's a new champion in the division, and he's not even from a different city. So I guess Mosquera doesn't have to worry about that part of it. He can rest easy knowing that his belt is still in Bogota. Oh, we should have put it on fast. I'm sorry, guys. But it's another good round from Garcia. This is an easy win for Oscar Garcia. Here at heavyweight, this is a setup fight against a Ugandan fighter. 3-9. Really should be easy work here from Garcia. First things first, we go fastest. And we go pile on pressure. Good work there. And Garcia continues to pile on pressure. Soto versus Sherry. And Soto continuing to be impressive. How many first round knockouts does he have now? I've said before that he might be my favorite prospect that I've signed just like from the start. Morales, I recognized immediately as being very special. But Soto, extremely good fighter. And yeah, TKO 3, TKO 2, KO 1. 3-2-1. He's going to knock the next guy out in the 0th round. That's what's going to happen. Watch. The guy will just fall over before the bell even rings. The ref will read the instructions and he'll just fall over backwards like a board. Like pushing a pallet over into a dumpster. Rodriguez continuing to march forward. Pile it on. Keep it moving. We only have 3% left. We got to be ahead in the fight. Maybe not. Kind of worried for Ramiro Rodriguez here. We're going to go for broke with what energy we have left. Let's see what Goodwill Sweetnam can do about it. Something. I guess we'll cover up here. Hopefully he puts in work, Sweetnam, and we can counterpunch. And we're going to pile on pressure here in the last round and see if the judges give us the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to after that knockdown. And Ramiro Rodriguez disappointingly loses his undefeated record to Goodwill Sweetnam, who, despite his 5-8 record, is not as bad of a fighter as that record might indicate. But that's not a good loss. That is not a good loss and not a good way to lose your record. And I think, I mean, he's a big kid, but he ain't the most gifted fighter in the world. He's local, but he's like always on the brink of getting cut because he just doesn't the tools are not really there. The tools are not really all there. That's not this guy's not going to compete for the heavyweight title anytime soon. So I'm probably going to be looking for an excuse to cut him eventually, and losing to Goodwill Sweetnam is a pretty good starter. Come on, Mitchell. Keep going forward. Keep going forward, Mitch. Keep bringing the heat. He's not bringing enough of the heat. Trying to catch Jonathan Saavedra here. And there's the TKO. Great stuff right there. Pena versus Munoz. Good first round by Pena. And look at Raymond Pena. His 9th consecutive win to start his professional campaign. And it's Randy Dale taking on an undefeated prospect in Esteban Campos. This should be fun. Randy Dale becoming one of my favorite fighters as my top-ranked middleweights disappoint me, but Randy Dale is now disappointing me as well. As Campos lands 26 punches in the round, we cover up the natural style. And Dale just doesn't have anything to say in this round, in this fight, I guess. I'm going to go to the body. Screw it. It's been terrible every other time. It's terrible this time, too. I feel like I just shouldn't even click it anymore. And Randy Dale gets stopped, and why do I go to the body? Why do I do it? Well, Max Rice is not going to go to the body against Yadar Polanco. Hopefully he doesn't get KO'd. This guy's got a lot of power. And it's a good first round for Polanco. Rice weathers the storm. We're going to jab and move on him. It didn't quite work. Rice taking damage. Lots of damage in that round. I don't know what to do. Maybe we jab and move here again. Nope. He still landed big shots on us. And this is a bad fight for Rice, too. Man, I mean, we're going to go for broke and try to make something magic happen, obviously, here in this round. No, we get stopped. Is that the first time Max Rice has been stopped in his career? I mean, that was a one-sided beatdown by Polanco. Clearly a talented fighter. We didn't crack the chin, and the stamina never ran out. He never had to be on the canvas. So he showed Max Rice a thing or two with that stamina and that punch accuracy. But it's a disappointing loss for Max Rice, who we can't really upgrade anymore. So I think he's hit his ceiling. It's impressive that he's made it to contender status, but if he's not going to get any better, I don't really think he's ever going to be a champion. He's just going to... He might be a fighter that we start to pay less and less attention to. Because, I mean, clearly once he gets up here to actually fighting these contender-level guys, he's just average. But that is the first time he's ever been stopped. So, that is the first time he's ever been stopped. It's not that big of a deal. That was just a bad night for us in general. So, Andre Foster is going to get a title shot here. Deservedly. After that win against Tony Seals. His only loss here to Reggie Watada, who he also beat before. So Andre Foster finally getting a title shot that's richly deserved after a long time as a contender in the division. And that's going to be in a week. And we'll watch that fight, and then we'll make our events. Good for Jarocha. That win over Dutchover was good. The Soto knockout was good. There were some good things in that event. But when it comes to title hopes at this point, especially after how Seals fought in that last fight, I'm already starting to look on our next generation of fighters. It really sucks that this I'm not paying attention to these new title fights. Tony Seals, man. Tony Seals needs to get back on the horse and make me believe again. Steve Ervin can show me something. A lot of these guys up here are still going to have chances and are still very talented fighters. But it really sucks that Fred Morales is blocked as clearly our best championship hope until you get down to maybe Kareem Ramos, but I would say I would actually say like Rico Hartman or like Raymond Pena, maybe. But the guy I'm locked in on, Thomas Young, is absolutely insane. Thomas Young can do it at bantamweight for sure. Wiggins is pretty good as well, but Manuel Soto also. I start to go down towards those guys way down the list once I get past Fred Morales, and he's got to get past Martin Castro or who's that other absolute beast, Joshua Nquane. Although I feel like, I mean, well, let's see. Let's see what Fred Morales can have scheduled for him. I actually think that's the fighter I'm most interested in to see if they give him a title shot. We can go Seals Fitch too. I'll think about the implications of that, whether it needs a rematch or not. I first want to go to Fred Morales, who they are not giving a title shot. This is robbery. I'll sue you. I'll sue you all. He knocked him out in one punch, and the best that they can give me is just a rematch. It's just a rematch. The best they can give me. Nothing better. Nothing better than a rematch against the guy I just decapitated. Really. That's the best you can do. He's the number 19 fighter in the world. That actually is the best they could do. Giving him an immediate rematch. Do I just sim another week? Like, I actually am insulted by that. Do any of our other fighters have anything crazy? There's no title shots that I'm passing up. No one here has a title shot. I'm not insinuating that we deserve one. I wouldn't fight Bondarenko again if you paid me. I don't necessarily think we weren't lucky to win that. Greg Jenkins. We can definitely beat Greg Jenkins. I think Ervin versus Jenkins would be a pretty good one. Sosa is definitely a bigger fighter. We're not going to do that. Cotrill, I believe that name is pronounced. This guy might be the best fighter on the entire planet. How the hell is he 20-6? This guy is a demon. How is he losing all these fights? Who is he losing to? Satan? Why is he fighting? He lost to Kapachev. I guess that's understandable. That's a beast. I'm fighting that guy. So yeah, Jenkins would be the move here. Justin too. You too. You too. I actually am going to sim one more week. I'm going to do this Donnelly fight. And then I'm going to sim another week because there's no title shots we're passing up. And I'm in disbelief that Fred Morales doesn't have a better opportunity than the guy he literally just beat. Foster's having a rough go here against Bill Donnelly, who's looking to stay undefeated. And will. KO. Easy work for Bill Donnelly. That's unfortunate. And we're going to go one more week. And we're going to go one more week. Rios. There we go. There we go. That's so good to see. Finally, Anthony Rios with the respect he so richly deserves. Can we get a real cruiserweight champion in here? Can we please get a real cruiserweight champion for once? Who are these people? This guy's not bad. This guy's not bad. But that's absolutely who I want with Rios now when he gets off injury in a week. But can Fred Morales get somebody better? No, it's still just Adam Parker. Ramiro Munoz is ranked 13th in the world. That's the best fight we have. He's ranked by plenty of people. Oh yeah, we'll beat this guy. Main event. And it says there aren't going to be many tickets, so let's find another main event. Ervin. Johnny Perez. Let's just do Ervin versus Jenkins like we said. And we'll have it. Let's do it at New York Sports Park, 20,000. And Seals can fight Zhang. I wanted to see that one. He's got Salinas, who's ranked 23rd in the world. Williams, that's an in-house against Williams. That we could do that. I don't know why we would. I don't really want to match up more of our... I don't want to match up Seals against anybody but Fitch, actually. Can Seals fight Fitch? It was just there. It's not there anymore. I don't know why it's not there anymore. Let me go back real quick. Maybe it needs a main event to do it. If Seals wants to fight Fitch. Who does Andy Fitch have then? He has Tony Seals for the belt. So yeah, we can set it up that way. But I don't necessarily know if I want to do that. I don't know if that's the bounce back that I want for Seals. I think that Zhang, especially for Seals, is kind of screaming at me here. He's just a big dude. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of an unnecessary risk, weirdly. Who else is there for Tony Seals? Eduardo Proa, he's just a lot better than. And Pro is ranked as well. Not necessarily ranked much higher than a lot of other guys. Joe Sharp is young and pretty talented. Joey Salinas, I think he'll beat. Let's go with Proa. I'm not going to make that its own show. We'll add that to Ervin versus Jenkins. A little bounce back fight for Tony Seals. And maybe we can have Fitch fight Zhang. It just seems a little dangerous for Fitch as well. Nirshek is top 10, but he doesn't want to fight us, so I don't know why he's even on the list. Benet is top 15. I sort of question if that risk is worth it for us at this point, but everybody up here represents some kind of risk. There's not an easy fighter among the options here for Andy Fitch. Andy Fitch is just going to have to be a warrior. And I think in that case, maybe Joey Salinas is actually the correct choice. So we'll add him. Fred Morales is going to get his own main event. Mercury versus Efrain Rice. That's a crazy fight. I'd rather... He's ranked, but sorry, I'd rather not make it. Jose Valero is ranked 8th in the world at 15-0. Villalba at 26. That's an interesting fight. Mike Smith is top 50. We're just going to pick off Mike Smith. Let's make a new main event. Create show main event. Fred Morales. Omar Martinez is top 25. Is this guy takeoutable? Yes. Ramiro Munoz. Well, Ramiro Munoz is the guy I wanted to fight. We're going to create this show. And it's got to be at a small venue. Let's see if we can find a small venue in Florida. Because Morales is from Florida. Temecula. There, Hollywood. That's Florida Seminole Hard Rock and Casino. That is, in fact, Hollywood, Florida. I know for a fact. Yes, that is a real place. Fred Morales and Ramiro Munoz. I believe it's in Tallahassee. Tony DeLuke versus Kareem Ramos. That should be a good one. DeLuke is top 100. Yeah, let's do it. Edwards. The European champion Marchuk here. That'd be an impressive win for a young fighter, and Edwards 53rd overall in the world. That would be such a big step up and such an impressive win for him. I almost want to just do it. This guy, Sonny Bazian, kind of decent. Joe Lyons would just be another easy win. It's such a big contrast. This guy's top 100. Let's do this guy. He's top 100. We can get some clout for that for sure, and it's not as dangerous as that other one. David Flores versus Andy Conwell. Did I just see that? He doesn't want to fight us. Diaz. Benitez. Flavio Freley again. Samsudine Angel. That's a great name. Angelo Cano. Johnny Mortensen. Did we fight Johnny Mortensen already? I feel like we already fought this guy. We haven't. Let's fight this guy because, again, I feel like we'll win. There. 4 fights on that card right now. Camacho. 4 fights on the card right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town. Hartman. Now we're in the Pleasant Park streets. Look at the map. Go to the mark sheet. Y'all remember that song? That shit would... It wasn't even that funny, but dude, One of the better songs to come out of the Fortnite thing. Take me to your Xbox to play Fortnite today. You can take me to Moisty Mire, but not Loot Lake. I really want to chug jug with you. We could be pro Fortnite gamers. Pro Fortnite gamers. Navarrete. I feel like have we fought this guy either? We haven't fought this guy either. Okay, cool. Why? How are there so many people in this division that he hasn't fought? I mean, I feel like he's been low ranked for a long time. And then, you know what? Fine, that's good enough for me. And then nothing. And weirdly should be a good fight. Let's watch this. We don't watch a lot of strawweight fights, but this might be a fun one. Let's see if Kelly can keep his belt against the interesting challenger from Tokyo. So far, so good for Kelly. Kelly just beating on Sumaman here, but Sumaman with a big knockdown puts a bunch of damage on Kelly with one punch. He seems to be chasing a finish, but now it's Kelly with good work. And he gets the finish. And by him, I mean Kelly. His name is Fuchigami. Fuchigami put a good challenge up against Kelly there. Landed one really big shot during the fight that could have changed the momentum, but that was it. Kelly bit down on his mouthpiece and finished the job. And could have been a fun title challenge. Illiev versus Yuseinov. I'm glad Champ Magazine has come in and said, all right, we'll give the belt to whoever wins this. We just want this one to be a little special. Emerson Gomez has all the other super middleweight belts. And I think it's sort of a testament to the fact they're just saying, you know, we think Yuseinov is the best super middleweight in the world, or whoever wins this fight will be. And I don't disagree. Yuseinov obviously coming up from middleweight after the victory against Andy Fitch. Coming up to super middleweight to challenge Illiev for his belt. He already may be the best super middleweight in the world, having weathered this extremely tense trilogy with Gabor Zoja. Actually, forget trilogy, quadrology. He fought Joza 4 times in a row, beating him 3 times, coming through that to retain his IBF title. I would say that he is by far the most decorated champion, at least in terms of defenses in the division, which makes him the most decorated champion in the division. And he's got a challenger here who is 8-0 in title fights in Christian Yuseinov, and don't we know it? That he's 8-0 in title fights, and very well could be, again, a very good candidate for #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, or at least the best, most talented fighter in the world. Because I don't really care about punching power that much when you can do everything else that well, and he very much can. Not the most fans in the world, but he's made a ton of money, and he's going to make a ton more probably here after he beats Illiev. And then going to try to unify against a very explosive puncher in Gomez with a pretty cracked chin. So this Illiev-Yuseinov fight coming up is going to be a thing. Oh, it's going to be a thing. Is it on? No. Oh, it's not for a while. It's not for 2 more weeks. Okay. Well, neither are any of our fights. Frankie Edwards, who is in that same division. I look at the guys up at the top of the division and I'm like, Frankie, you want to get that defense up 14 points and then we can talk about a title shot? Like, the punch accuracy and the defense from Frankie Edwards are really going to limit him, but he's done a fun job building up his record and getting up towards contender status. Can Anthony Rios get a title shot? Nope. No. Why would you give him a title shot? That would just be fair. That would just make sense. Isn't he like the #1 contender? Are there 2 cruiserweight? There are. Okay, so both the champions, all the champions are booked up. That's why. So I think we just leave Rios to sit. Why not, right? Cruiserweight. Yeah, this guy's going to fight Orsos again. And then Abreu is going to fight Fundora. So there's no free belts in this division. We're just going to have to wait. And I don't really necessarily think any of the warm-up fights are worth it, really. But none of the big guys actually want to fight us. Winfred Wilson from Fremont, United States, is the only guy who wants to fight us, and he's number 9. If we lose to him, I think we'd come cascading down out of the ranks of the top ranked, because I think right now Rios is just straight up number 2. And global, he's number 3. So yes, that means he's number 2, because there's 2 champions, so that would make him the number 1 contender if he was number 3 in the world. And it's Illiev versus Yuseinov for the Champ Magazine and IBF Super Middleweight titles, one of the highest level fights you will see in world boxing. Let's start. What a match this could turn out to be. What a start from Yuseinov. Yuseinov is showing absolutely no worse for wear signs here. Up a weight class. And here comes Illiev with some pressure finally. The game says Yuseinov took that round. I kind of disagree. It looked like Illiev won it to me. Illiev marched forward in that round. He hasn't landed any power shots, and he's the more tired fighter. But he's ahead on the scorecards. Now, is it worth it? What has he sacrificed? It's very low volume. And here comes Yuseinov with some punches, with some shots. Strategically maybe lulling Illiev to sleep there a little bit. And Yuseinov manages to take a pretty fun round as it goes back and forth there. As Illiev was like, hey, you're not going to lull me to sleep. I'm going to outpunch you. And then Yuseinov started outlanding him. That was a fun one. And now Yuseinov just jumping out to the lead here in this round. He is just a little better than Illiev, I feel like, even up a weight. Yuseinov is coming up to Iliev's weight. This man has defended this belt over and over again very valiantly. And the middleweight champ has come up to his division and just staked his claim here. He is well ahead in this fight and doing the far superior work to Illiev without question. It's not embarrassing for Illiev, but he ain't winning either. Good comeback in that round. He might have won that round. I just said he ain't winning. Look at this. He heard me say that. He's only got 26% energy left. But he's the only one doing work right now. Here comes Yuseinov, trying to get back into the round. And this fight's pretty even now. Yuseinov, the more damaged fighter. Look at Illiev, playing the role of the protagonist. As Illiev wants to defend his belt, and he did a great job right there. Working towards that end. Doing awesome damage on Yuseinov, the undefeated, formerly undisputed challenger. And forward comes Yuseinov. Unquestionably the biggest one-belt fight. I mean, nah. The Champ Magazine is a belt, no? So it is a 2-belt fight. It's just a rare belt. Illiev. It's a big round for Yuseinov. Illiev isn't throwing a lot, and he's empty on energy. He manages to get some punishment back to Yuseinov there, but that's a big Yuseinov round. I would say this fight's evened up, but Yuseinov is winning, in my opinion. And he's the one with the energy who I fully expect to do the better work here coming up towards the end of the fight. And Yuseinov continuing on. Few power punches in the round, but that's a Yuseinov round easy. Throw your hands up. 2 more rounds. It's a good start for Illiev. What does he have left? He's ahead in the punch stats narrowly. That's pretty much dead even. Hard to argue that Yuseinov has controlled the fight, but this is an Illiev round. Impressive for Illiev to win a round there. Last one. What can Yuseinov do to try to convince the judges that he deserves this belt? That he deserves to come up to the middleweight belt, keep his undefeated record, and gain new titles. It's no work from Illiev. That helps at least. Illiev landed a couple shots here, but he's been tired for a while. Yuseinov needs to start throwing if he wants to steal the round. It's 116-113 Yuseinov, a 114-114 draw, and 117-112 for the winner by majority decision, and still undefeated and new Champ Magazine IBF Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Christian Yuseinov. He is now a 2-division world champion. How you like that? And here's a good fight. Luis Rodriguez versus Kawabata. These guys have fought before. This is number 3. Sorry, number 4. This is their 4th fight. Yeah, I said before, Rodriguez has won all 3. So Rodriguez is just a boogeyman to Kawabata at this point. Kawabata taking these warm-up fights against Muramatsu and Yanez, going into the ring basically just imagining them as Rodriguez and taking his anger out on them. Because all this man has done in his career wrong is lose to Luis Rodriguez. He is 30-3, and all 3 of those losses are to Luis Rodriguez, and it's another bite at the apple here. Where is Luis Rodriguez from? Where is he from? 1 second. I'm trying to find out what country he's from. Rankings, flyweight. Oh, Puerto Rico. Okay. Will he beat the undefeated Puerto Rican? Will he finally get the monkey off of his back? Because there are many timelines here where Kawabata with his skill set is the undefeated fighter. Rodriguez piling on pressure. Kawabata fighting back, but it always goes like this for Kawabata against Rodriguez. He's just pummeled at the beginning of the fight and has to work off the back foot. These fights go the same way every time. And Rodriguez, when you match up Rodriguez against Kawabata, it seems to just be the same results. Kawabata is going to need to land something special, and it doesn't happen. It's another lopsided win for Luis Rodriguez, who is now 19-0, and Kawabata has now lost 4 times to Luis Rodriguez, and we're starting to wonder what the point of this is. I think the point has been made. I may want to watch. I haven't been watching Abreu's title defenses, even though he is undefeated. Might be worth it to watch this one because the next fight could be against Anthony Rios. And I'm looking at Rios' XP growth because I just looked at Agapito Abreu, who would probably beat him. To be honest with you, he's probably better. I'd like another Ludwig Huft fight. That was a good challenge Ludwig Huft gave him. This is going to be in a week, correct? We have no really big top-level guys who we can have fight right now. Dangerous Darius Mitchell. And let's see, Agapito Abreu versus Fundora. This should be relatively easy work for Abreu. On paper. Good first round. Bad second round. Takes some damage, but he wins the third. Knockdown for Abreu. And Abreu. Gets the win. Another easy win for Abreu to defend his fight. Botswana versus Danny Snow. Danny Snow is very talented. I might watch this just for Danny Snow. It's a talented prospect. We'll watch that one before so I can section the video. I call this section title fights. Because it's the title fights. Botswana versus Danny Snow. Let's see if Danny Snow can defeat the Road Warrior Botswana. That would definitely be his nickname if I was his manager, Opa Botswana. Big damage there, and he gets knocked out in round 2. Yeah, Danny Snow, just too much for Botswana. And all those experts who were saying Danny Snow is the future of the heavyweight division were correct. And we've got a pretty obvious matchup there, don't we? In the heavyweight division. I think we have a pretty obvious face-off here between Danny Snow and James Ray. And a Danny Snow, James Ray unify for every frickin' belt that has ever been conceived of in the lineal heavyweight championship of the entire history of the known universe. Should be on the line on that one. I don't really see anybody else up near the top. There's probably people in Australia screaming for Odenaro. Big dude. J. Lin. Man. Oof. J. Lin is nasty. I do not. So remember that guy who knocked us out, Fabio Freley, who beat us? Yeah, he just got KO1'd by J. Lim. This guy is... run away. Run in the opposite direction. Yeah, there ain't nobody in North America who's moving like J. Lim. Well, other than Danny Snow and James Ray. I really want to see Danny Snow and James Ray. I want to see that fight. Ramat. That chin don't lie. That thing was getting cracked eventually. It just did. Mercado versus Galvan, no. Moreno versus Saranana. Ervin versus Jenkins. Wiggins versus Enver Cantu. Great first round from Wiggins. Wiggins continuing. Hey, and there's a knockout from Wiggins. 4 knockouts in 4 fights to start their career. Garcia. All the struggles in round 2, taking some damage, but he continues to march forward here. It's a knockdown. Gets up at the count of 6. Let's see if he can weather the storm. He's got... the reason I sound so calm after that knockdown is because he's still got the energy advantage, and he does. Hunts it down and gets it. Oscar Garcia beats Oscar Charles in the battle of the Oscars. And now Manuel Soto looking to improve to 4-0 against Jaron Lawrence. If Manuel Soto loses, I will be mad. He's taking a little damage in this fight here. Lots of punch output from Lawrence with the punch accuracy. But he doesn't seem like he can quite get to us. We outland him there. And there's the knockout in round 7. Just 1 punch. Manuel Soto improves to 4-0 and shows off the power. Yet again, it just took a while this time. McCreary versus Smith. Pretty even looking records on these dudes. McCreary more knockout happy. Obviously fought for a belt in the past. Its damage on both fighters pretty explosive. Good power from Smith here to land a few power shots and do such damage to McCreary. He does more power shots at the beginning, but McCreary really starts to land there at the end of that round. And we're going to pile on and try to see if we can finish this. And there's the knockdown and the knockout. Gabriel McCreary with his 15th career KO. He's now 18-4. Fitch versus Salinas. A warm-up fight for Andy Fitch should be relatively easy work as he's got Salinas tired and he's going to pile on the pressure, all that ring IQ. Hasn't done Salinas much good. Fitchy's still piling on, and there he goes. 0% TKO percentage, apparently. Andy Fitch, that was some easy work. Flick that switch. And can Tony Seals very similarly get back in the win column here in the middleweight division. There's a knockdown in the first round of Eduardo Proa. Seals still chasing that knockdown. Let's go look for KO just to switch things up. Hopefully we don't get hit too hard. We don't. Go back to natural style. Stay on natural style. There's a knockdown, even though he takes some damage in the round. Pile on pressure. We're taking damage. We need to chill out. Can Seals manage to not get KO'd by this guy? I mean, he got KO'd by the last guy. There's some good cover-up work. We only have so much left in the tank, so we're going to pile on. This guy does throw punches, but we're easily ahead in this fight. Round 11 of 12. I just don't want him to take too much damage. And he gets a knockout. Okay, cool. In the 11th round, he finally finds the big shot. But I don't know about that one, to be honest with you. That was a bad... I mean, Pro is not even good, and he's the same size. Maybe he's got some hidden attributes. He's 23 and 9, so he clearly doesn't simulate that bad. I'm not that ecstatic about that win, though, truth be told. Seals is still only 23, which is incredible for everything he's been through. He needs more wins. He does need more wins. He defended his North American belt, too. It's still a KO. It's still an impressive performance. It still looks good on the record. But Pro is not that good of a fighter. Pro also his first fight at middleweight, coming up from super welterweight. Okay. God, imagine how powerful Tony Seals would be if we moved him down, though. That's all I'm saying. But he just fought a guy who basically is a super welterweight and didn't do that good of a job. I was much more impressed with Fitch tonight. And we're going to go to Steve Ervin's fight and see what Steve Ervin can do in super middleweight, a division where, you know, your hands can take you a long way, but Steve Ervin, frankly, with his chin, would have to get lucky to ever be a champion. Let's just be real. He's going to have to get lucky, and his chin's not going to have to not get cracked. That's about it. Lean on the defense, Mr. Steve Ervin, as we're going to do right here against Greg Jenkins. As we jab and move. We do a very good job jabbing and moving. We go back to natural style. And we get knocked down, of course. We're going to cover up then. Ervin, of course, a good defensive fighter, doing great work on cover up. And we're going to jab and move. His natural style didn't work. We're going to keep jabbing and moving. And that wins us the fight. Steve Ervin likes to jab and move and just did it to great effect there. Survived the knockdown against Craig Jenkins and keep himself in the middleweight title picture. Very impressive. We've got this Fred Morales show here at the Hard Rock Casino. As we just keep on rolling in Boxing Manager, baby. This episode's this long and I lost some footage. Is that Emerson Gomez versus Lerna Kapachev? Oh, they already fought each other. They already fought. I'm acting like that's some kind of brand new super fight. They've already fought. And Gomez won in 6. It's another big fight, though. Another super fight. Always love to see the big fights getting booked. Yusupov versus Clark here. Jesse Clark from Indio, USA. Looking to challenge Yusupov's undefeated mark. Robert Bulacan also defending. I'm not going to watch this fight, though. Bulacan, the undefeated fighter from the Philippines. Yusupov versus Jesse Clark. Jesse Clark's got hands on him. Never mind. No, he doesn't. He might have hands. We're never going to get to see them. And still, in 40 seconds and in 4 punches, Sardar Yusupov is still the WBA, WBO World Super Welterweight title holder. And is still undefeated. And now has the most significant undefeated record in the sport at 43-0. Imagine having a 43-0 fighter. We don't have anybody even close to that. Let's go to our show. DeRocha versus Navarrete. Another interesting fight here for DeRocha at bantamweight. Crazy first round. And this is why I did this. We're going to put you on jab and move here, which we don't normally do with DeRocha. And it works very, very well. Using his size to great effect. And DeRocha gets the finish. Awesome stuff there from Keenan. Hartman versus Juarez. Hartman bursting out to a lead. Hartman continuing to work. And that's excellent stuff from Rico Hartman. 6-0. Raymond Pena, bad first round. Uh-oh. We're going to need to cover up. We continue to cover up. Can Pena jab and move? We've been jabbing and moving lately. We're going to keep jabbing and moving. I'm liking the way it's working. Oh, yeah. Jab and move is money tonight. Jab and move is money right now. I mean, it's why we picked these tall fighters. That's not going to be a good move here for Flores against Mortensen. This is an interesting little heavyweight tilt here. It might not be championship level, but it's 2 fighters who are going to make a fun tactical matchup as they both land good damage there in round 2 without many power shots. It's a lot of volume from these 2 guys. Just instinctively wanting to go on jab and move. Let's stay. Okay. Maybe now we cover up and try to land a big power shot with Flores. I don't like it at all. Let's jab and move. Okay, let's go to the body. I feel like I don't have any choice. You just have to try to get in there and damage his stamina. Not really. Natural style for one more round. It's a good round. You can maybe give that one to us. Let's pile on pressure here. Hope we have some energy left. We don't. So I don't really know what to do because we're down in the fight. I guess we have to go for broke. But this looks like a loss for David Flores and not a good one at that. We go for broke and win the last round. We're not going to get the benefit of the doubt from the judges. It's a narrow loss. But it's a win for Johnny Mortensen. That's a disappointing loss for David Flores, who continues to fall further out of the heavyweight picture. We can't grow him with XP. He's got 6 losses, including 2 in a row here. Still only 25. He's also undersized. He's not a hard enough puncher for this division, really. He's got really good defense. Maybe light heavyweight. Or cruiserweight, rather. Maybe cruiserweight for David Flores, huh? No? I'm kind of leaning towards that, weirdly. I'm kind of moving towards leaning Flores to cruiserweight. He's got 2 fights left on his deal, so you know what? We're going to give him one more fight. That's why we leave fights on the contract. It's still the heavyweight division. It's still a hard division. We're going to give Flores one more shot here at heavyweight. And keep things fluid, because he's still so early on into his career at the age of 25. Edwards taking big damage from Ahor Jabarov there in the first round. Okay, Jabarov continues to do damage. Are we going to jab and move a guy who's clearly a jab and mover? No. I'm just going to stay on natural style here. And Edwards gets a KO. Okay, everything's fine. Edwards is magical, man. He has magical power in those hands, clearly already, with some of the flash knockdowns he's been able to give us so far. Tricky southpaw from New Jersey. A light heavyweight. Just looking at him, though, I was just thinking, like, man, again, another guy we could move down in weight. He'd be a beast at super middleweight at 6'2". But again, it'd be a tough weight cut. And especially once you get up to those higher weight divisions in boxing, there still is some distance. Everyone thinks there's all these boxing weight classes. Oh, there's so little distance between all the weight classes because there's too many of them. Yeah, that's true in the lower weight classes, but not necessarily as much in the higher weight classes. There's a pretty big difference between a light heavyweight, a cruiserweight, and a heavyweight in terms of size. There really is. Pena. That's why Usyk is such an impressive fighter. People say he's a blown up cruiserweight, but he literally was a cruiserweight. Like, the cruiserweights are big, man. Cruiserweight is light heavyweight. That's literally, light heavyweight is called light heavyweight because it used to be light heavyweight. Cruiserweight really should be called light heavyweight, and light heavyweight should be called something else. Because cruiserweight is actually light heavyweight. It's the division below light heavyweight. It's the division below heavyweight, so it should be called light heavyweight. Ramos versus DeLuke. Ramos looking to keep that undefeated mark. Nice and clean. Keep that 0 sparkling. Work from DeLuke here. Making me nervous. And there is a big knockdown there from Ramos. And this undefeated record is looking safe now. Here comes the pile-on pressure. And Keenan Ramos. With a pretty wide unanimous decision win over Tony DeLuke in the welterweight division. Not bad. And the main event of the evening, and maybe the last fight of this episode, just maybe, might keep going a while longer, is Fred Morales versus Ramiro Munoz. Another fighter from Bogota on this episode, albeit not fighting for a title this time. Morales this is kind of easy work. This is just kind of easy work for Fred. Easy. And now, what we're going to do is we are going to look in a very special place in the save. The Hall of Fame. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. The Hall of Fame. This is a great little lore section in this game where you can look up a lot of interesting things about the world. And even though we haven't won a championship yet, I think it's still a good time in the history of the save to go over this stuff. So I believe what we're looking at right now, no, that isn't the GOAT Top 100. I don't know what we were looking at there. We've got Fighters of the Year, Teddy Molinar. We've only been through 4 years. It's amazing. We're only in 2028. We're about to get a new one. I wonder who it's going to be this year. Genuinely, I don't know. It was Dwayne Little last year. It's probably not going to be Dwayne Little this year, given that he got knocked out in the first round. But he did a great job beating Mehdi Yusupov last year and they gave him Fighter of the Year. So Molinar, Johnny Donovan, what's been up with him? He's still fighting, but he's on kind of a losing streak. He's fighting tough fighters, though. An undefeated Mexican and Edgar Amperan, who he lost to. And then he also lost to Jared Kotzer, who somehow still has not won a championship. And he himself has now lost to this fighter, Daniel Rosales. So the game moves in cycles, and Johnny Donovan is kind of bad, down kind of bad right now in the welterweight division. Maybe a weight change is in order. But he was feared, man. He was mighty. He was number one back in the day, bro. And it's already back in the day for Johnny Donovan. How cruel the game is. Kapachev has won 5 Champ Magazine titles. Lovett has won 4. Most title wins. Yusupov has won 14 world championships. 14. No, back. I thought I was looking at Yusupov's titles. When I go to Yusupov and look at titles, it just sends me to the world titles. That's a little dumb. Record, but whatever. This guy has 14 title wins. Yeah, I mean, he's fought 14 fights in the save, and he's won all of them. I think that's what it's saying. He hasn't won 14 different titles. That would be an insane record. Manny Pacquiao won 8. I think that's a little excessive, doubling that. That's not what he did. He's won 14 different title fights, which is absolutely incredible. He has never let go of his title during the course of the entire save, and I think he may be the only fighter we can say that about. Yes, that is true. He had his title at the beginning of the save, and he has not relinquished it. Saavedra Yusupov at 43-0, also the most decorated, undefeated fighter left in the game. And what a fighter he has been. Defeating top-level challenger after top-level challenger. I believe in... no, in only one weight class. He has just stayed at super welter. And he is also, very interestingly, never unified. You know what? He's a man of principles. He is a man of his principles. But 14 title wins for him anyway. Gomez with 9, Yuseinov with 9, Ray with 9, Mosquera with 9. The most career wins, BJ Morris. This is a little tougher. This number is going to go up, thankfully. People get to 60 wins, 70 wins. Even fighters that are spawning in right now are going to get to significant numbers of wins. So don't worry, this will go up. But right now, this is obviously just going to be inflated with artificial wins from before we even started the save, even still. Most career KOs, apparently Yusupov. But again, I'm not going to trust this until we get deeper in, and there's guys who've done their entire careers. This is worth looking at. James Ray, big shock. The heavyweight champion of the world, the long reigning heavyweight champion of the world, James Ray, is the highest earning fighter. That should be a surprise to absolutely nobody. He deserves it, richly deserved. Followed by Yusupov, Ramatswana, the other Yusupov, Donovan, Muratov, Lesman, Gomez, and Hoon. Current followers, most followed fighter is James Ray by a wide margin, 181 million. And Ramatswana at 66 million, huge in South Africa. Raskar Wid, big in Sweden. Yusupov has Uzbekistan and Raptors. Of course he does. Promotion records. Here we go. This is interesting. Take a look at this. Here's all of our fighters. How many fights they've had for the promotion. Tony Seals. A lot of these guys have been here the whole time, though. Seals, though, happens to have the promotional fight record. I want to give him a little break. Might want to give him a little bit of a breaky break there. Because he is clearly fighting at a bit of a higher clip than everyone else. But here's the... Go back. But here is the full list of most fights for the promotion. And look at that. And the highest purse we have gotten is Andy Fitch versus Yuseinov. This is just a painful, just painful. I think we lost every one of these. The only one of these fights that we won, I think Seals beat Feher. Seals beat Morris. We've never made over $1 million in one. Fitch lost to Donnelly. Seals lost to Wynn. McCreary lost to Carl. Fitch lost to Yuseinov. Cotrill even lost to Lessman. And Seals lost to Wid, I believe. No, sorry. That was the other Wid fight. That might have been one that we won. Pro records. The all-time highest purse for any fight is James May versus Townsend. That fight we just watched. $19 million. What's the straw rate record for a purse? I'm curious. Can I click that? 800,000 for Emil Ronson. Whatever happened to Emil Ronson, the strawweight legend? He's at flyweight now. He moved up and he hasn't lost. Ooh. I wonder if Emil Ronson can become the flyweight champion. He's 44-1. Has only lost to Reese Kelly, who is a current strawweight champion. So kind of a fascinating thing there. I wonder if Ronson and Kelly will ever meet again. One would hope. And then gold medalist, amateur record. I don't know what any of this is. I don't really care about the amateurs. But we're going to look at the GOAT Top 100 right now. Not just at heavyweight, at everywhere. And there we go. I don't know how the game determines this, but I always love looking at this because I just find it to be kind of accurate usually from my own perception. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think this game has it right. And I mean, just look at this. Look at all the names here. This is just a great highlighted names here. And Xavier Victor Carls is here, who I've looked at before. Who is Gabor Zoja? I believe we've seen him. Oh, yeah, he had the 4 fights against Illiev, losing 3. And a duology, it looked like there also against the fighter named Nazar. Filipovic, an underrated cruiserweight as well. Raskar Wid on here. Malsades Rosa, with the run that he went on. Kind of surprising he isn't higher. I guess he was more of an early game guy. Bill Donnelly, you see. But the top 10, Sardo Yusupov is the #1 GOAT right now. That's not surprising. James Ray, #2, also not surprising. Donovan, with the run that he went on, with the star that he was, and how long he stayed undisputed, and some of the guys that he fought against. Not surprising he's 3. Maybe a little overrated at this point. Muratov, 44-4. Been struggling lately. But again, a lot of title fight success. But it really does show here, looking at this, we are still pretty early into this save. Manigo losing his title and battling back for it here at super flyweight. Another dramatic story. But yes, it goes to show we aren't actually that far into the save, but that's always really fun to look at.